Hello and welcome to the season finale, round number 5 of New Dimension Racing's LFSCART Light Series 2021 in Live for Speed. I'm Peter Butcher and I'm joined tonight in the commentary box for this final race with Travis Mehlinger.
Good afternoon, Pete. It's a pleasure to be here. I think this will be a good one, the last one of this season. Hopefully we'll get some more seasons because this has been a blast to do with you, to watch, to hang out with all the competitors. Looking forward to this one.
Me too. It's always nice to do a season finale. We do like to wrap things up, and we have a situation on our hands. We have some qualifying results to bring you from the session that just finished a few moments ago. Before we head into what's happening tonight, Yoni Katila took pole position at Westhill National ahead of Alexi Lemerto, Gabor Gier, Daniel Lecastic, Santu Sarah, Sean Lee, Teo Jose, who hasn't been with us since round 1, Jimmy Vertinen, Azar, and then Nico Pintola. Rounding up the top 10. Isaac Price down there in 13th place, Travis.
Yeah, didn't really expect that. We haven't seen him. He hasn't been a regular for the entire series. I think if I recall correctly, he turned up for the first round and maybe for the second. We definitely did not see him on the oval. But yeah, even so, like he's so talented and he's so quick. I think even when he does turn up, we expect to see him further up the order. Just a little bit off today, I guess.
Yeah, we've got a 26-car field for today, which is a slight improvement on some of the rounds. Obviously, we know that we have had some collisions with some Formula 1 action, but it's good to see that the drivers have made it today, and we will have 2 thrilling races. What's coming up today? We are on round 5 of a 5-round championship at Westhill National. It's been a good season so far, and hopefully we are not disappointed in the final 20% of it here tonight. Around the newest combination in LFS, the 4.4 kilometre, 2.7 mile Westhill National configuration. Starting off, we just had a 20-minute qualifying session, and we will have 2 28-lap races on the hour each time. So Travis, let's get this underway without any further ado. The drivers are just readying up. If you're not familiar with the Fox, then here it is, the 2-litre inline-4 mid-engine rear-wheel drive car, 190 brake horsepower in it, and it weighs just under half a ton. So yeah, it's got plenty of grip, Travis, and it's been a fun car to see used again in LFSCART Light.
It is, and it'll be a lot of fun to run around here. If we can see the track graphic, here we go. This has the best of the Westhill International circuit. We got that nice double apex corner in the middle of the circuit, and then the hairpin that comes back onto that back straightaway. Before the final corner, eliminates the chicane. So we've got a couple fast runs, through the first couple corners, and then at the last part of the circuit, and then the technical parts of the inside of the international circuit. Really, really good circuit for these cars. Should have a lot of excitement today, especially as cars come through that sweeping right-hand bend in turn 1, and then everybody gets bunched up in that hairpin. We'll see lots of action coming through this circuit today.
We surely will. And as the drivers hit the grid, we will run down the championship standings in their entirety, and we will get a look at how the championship picture stacks up. And here we go. In the top spot, it's Yoni Katila with 449 points ahead of Gabor, actually, who's driving for Sidus. Patrick Hall still there in P3. Paddy Peltikangas, P4. Santu Sarah, P5. And as we scroll through, the drivers set off on their parade lap. So all of them going to work their way around the track, warm up their tyres. And there we are, 46 cars on our Drivers' Championship standings.
Yeah, kind of an interesting posture off the grid here. Yoni, being pole position, obviously welcome to set off as quickly as he likes to go to the grid. So we see T. Jose in the background connected. I believe he's one of the cars that will be starting for pit lane. We have many cars starting for pit lane today. We can look at those in a moment. But Yoni took off from the first grid position, and Alexi Lemerto and Gabor went off in pursuit of him very quickly. It looked as though, I don't think this is the case, but it appeared as though they had forgotten this is a formation lap and left everyone else behind. Since then, everybody else is caught up. We can see in the background there behind the championship standings, Yoni warming up his tires very aggressively. Since we have this graphic up, we can talk about the team championship standings as they come around to the grid. We've got Team Sidus with a clear lead in first position. They will win the team's championship. Race Green Autosports, that is Ronan Crumpush's team, in second position. And then World Class Lions, pretty good effort with Yoni Katila doing the bulk of the work here in third position with 721 points. And then Fragmaster in fourth, Pixel Air Attack Racing in fifth position. And then we can see the rest of the order down there, 6th through 10th, all the way back to 15th. 15 teams participating in this championship this year. Pete, pretty good turnout.
Yeah, it's a good turnout for the final round, which I'm pleased to say, as we see Yoni Katila coming around the final corner. He's leading Alexi Lamerto to the grid. There is our safety car, Stuart Baker, lining out at the back. And we are in for one heck of a race here as all the drivers make their way to the grid. Yes, Travis, we have 27 cars. Cristobal Gonzalez is at the back of the grid. He'll be making his way around to his start position very shortly. Wow, what a race we're in for here as we wait for all the drivers to line up for our first of two 28-lap races.
Sorry about that, Pete. We mentioned cars starting from pit lane as we see the rear of the grid forming up now. We do have Gonzalez Ayub starting from pit lane. He did not pre-qualify this week. And then one of the irregular drivers, Jose, the 49 car, in pit lane as well. They will roll off after all the cars on the grid take the green light, and they are released by race control. Pete, take it away.
Here we go for the start then of the final round of NDR's LFSCART Light Series in 2021. All the lights are on the gantry in LFS, but as we see, our in-sim lights are green, and we are going for the first of two races tonight. A good start from Yoni Katila as they run up the hill, and the two Sidus cars trying to tuck into the slipstream. That's Alexi Lamerto immediately into the slipstream and going for the inside line into turn one. Is Yoni going to try and hold this around the outside? He does. That puts him on the inside for turn two, Travis.
Yep, inside into turn two. Everybody coming through clean behind him. We can see the cars released from pit lane further back. Yoni Katila still in the lead. A car off. I couldn't tell if it was Alexi Lamerto or Gabor. Yeah, Lamerto off. He's going to fall back to about 12th position, maybe as far back as 15th position, as we see Yoni coming through these slower bins in the inner part of the circuit now. Cars getting strung out, line astern, single file. As we come around to the back part of the circuit, it appears everyone is through cleanly, and all of the cars that start from pit lane are running as well. Good start by everyone in this final round. Pete.
Yeah, great stuff. Everybody filing through to almost complete our first lap. I mean, it's such a short lap here. I mean, yeah, the races aren't going to be any different to previous weeks as we see Nika Bentola coming under getting past, actually. Is that Azari's just got through? Yes, it is. Of course, we're running an open config here because it's NDR, so we'll get updates of track position on the split times.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Pete. Further back, we've got Sarkinen, who was running behind Roni, off in the gravel, further around the back of the circuit in the final corner, coming onto the back straight. He is properly stuck. He will need to be rescued. I will be stunned if this is not a safety car coming up any moment now.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see what race control chooses to do with that. Maybe the car can free itself, but so far it doesn't look like it's going to. Alexi Lamerto dropping down the order has meant that we have Santu Sarah up in the top, and we've now got Sean Lee attacking Daniel Lacastic. Sean Lee actually dropping back behind Daniel there as they went over start finish. So a place made for the second Fragmaster driver here.
So Pete, leaders will be coming through shortly, but Jonathan Palmer has freed Sarkinen in the 69 car. He is off well behind on the lead lap now, but running again. These cars are going to be coming through this corner where Jonathan Palmer just freed that car a moment ago. So JP will need to get off the circuit, but he should be away in time. He is indeed off in the chicane back there. We keep going without a safety car.
Yeah, good work there by the NDR crew getting that incident sorted out. Avoiding the need for a safety car, as we see Azar dropping down another place there. Patrick Hall for Race Green, currently third in the standings, getting through there. And, yeah, on his way up to P7, or P6 now, rather. So, oh no, he is in P7 as he makes his way up to the back of Nika Pentola.
Patrick Hall has had a really strong season, had that sensational win around the oval at Rockingham. Had dominated the race. Cars fell by the wayside all around him, and he managed to find a good drafting partner near the front, and then looked like it had all gone wrong for him when his drafting partner fell by the wayside and a late safety car. Well, his drafting partner fell by the wayside, and he had to drive alone, which is not how you go around the oval. And then after a late safety car, managed to hold on for the victory. And in every other event, he's been really consistent. He doesn't have the ultimate pace that guys like Yoni or Gabor do, but he's been right up there and has converted it into a third position in the championship standings. So great season from him. Really fun to watch him driving around here. This is the kind of racing I like to see. It was a big slide right in front of Zdravko Dubonjak there. I don't know if he got out of it thinking that he was about to collect the driver ahead. I couldn't see who the driver ahead was, but that was a near incident. Both of them managed to continue unabated, though a little bit more exciting than Number would have cared to do early in the race.
Me.
Oh, as he gets punted from behind, but I would think that was Jakob Jeffen that got into the rear of the car. Zdravko going backward now, not what he wants to see at all, as he's following Alexei Lamerto now, who had fallen by the wayside on the very first lap. Pete, a little ragged from some of these, some of the drivers we're used to seeing exceptional performances from.
Yeah, as we switch to Sean Lee, who loses it again, and yeah, that's just an unfortunate incident there. He's managed to keep it stopped, but oh man, he's got back on the grass. That's not a good start to Sean's race. He was doing really well there up in P5, but that's such a long way down now.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him, but it's worth mentioning. He did a really good job there to control the car. As soon as he was sideways, he jumped on the brakes and kept the wheels locked so the car was sliding the direction it was going rather than trying to save it and drive it back on the circuit. He did a good job to keep the car off the line, sliding, and then once he had control of the car again, he did a really quick snap spin well out of the way, and he's off and going again in 12th position, though he is under pressure. His tires are going to be flat spotted and hot, and he will have to defend this with less than ideal equipment coming through this really fast sweeping bend. They're going to go side by side. They think better of it on the 4th lap of this race. Sean Lee manages to hold 18th position behind Isaac Price, running back at 17th. Pete, we talked about his qualifying position, and he's fallen back.
Wow, he started from the pit lane. I just wanted to mention that actually he's not there because he's lost positions. He's actually there because he's gained positions from his start because he was one of the pit lane starters.
Fair enough. Thank you for clarifying that.
But yeah, he's catching up to the back of Jimmy Vertinen for MRC Banners. And who's that? That's Teemu Soini, who's running pretty well up in P14. But here we go. There's going to be a move on into the hairpin. Let's see, can Isaac follow Azar through? He's on the inside of Soini, and it looks like that's job done. So a place gained for both those drivers. And
we watch all
as well.
Sorry, Pete. While we watch all of this action back here, a wheel off. That's where Sean Lee went off just a moment ago. The world-class Lions driver just manages to keep the car under control. I was about to say, while we watch that action, we can update the front of the order. It is Joni Katila driving away, slowly growing this lead up to nearly 2 seconds now, with Gabor in second place, Santusara running in third, Lukastik in fourth, Nico Pantola up to fifth, and Patrick Hall still lurking there in sixth position. Alexei Lamerto back in eighth, ninth, trying to regain the positions he lost on the first lap, fell back to 12th or 13th. Joni Katila leads them around lap 5.
Yep, 5 on the fifth lap already. So big gainers and losers. Alexei Lamerto, he's making his way back through. He's in a bit of space at the moment now. Yeah, he'll be kicking himself. He had a front row start. He's down to P9. Not what he would have wanted, but if anyone on this grid can improve, it's him. He's pretty rapid in these single-seaters, Travis, as you can attest from the spring.
Yep, he is indeed very consistent. My first foray into broadcasting and sim broadcast was about a year ago. Ooh, these cars are really tight. Isaac Price looked like he was about to turn the car ahead of him around, but just manages to sneak in the gap there. Really, really, really clean drive from Isaac, trying to make up as many positions as he can after starting from a pit lane, as Pete clarified for us a moment ago. Nearly wheel to wheel there again. As this was happening, Isaac goes a little bit wide there, but I think he'll be able to hold position. He'll have the inside coming into the next corner. Michael Malik came into the pits while we were watching this. I don't know if he had damage. He is not compelled to make a pit stop. So I wonder if he had gone off somewhere and chose to... Well, he's not compelled to take a pit stop that early, but I wonder if he had gone off and broken something. Maybe we'll look into that and see what's going on there. Michael Malik now running around the back, ahead of only Sarkinen, who lost a lap at some point after he was off early.
Yeah, Ronnie had a look at the back of Isaac there, but he's now lost time and is getting caught a little bit by Bozidar Velinov now as they head across start-finish line side by side, Ronnie and Velinov. It's a big gaggle of cars now, Vertinen and Jimmy Vertinen. for Master Race Car in there as well. Trying to go round the outside of Ronnie, and there's contact, and he's been pushed off into the wall hard. That'll be some left side damage on that car.
Fortunately, left side not as important around this circuit as it is at some other circuits. There are a lot of left-hand corners here, so the right side of the car does a lot of work. But there's a car off in the grass behind him, just got it back under control. It's going to make it much more difficult to drive the car through this part of the circuit right here, these slow technical corners that he's coming through right now. It looked like Yumi was about to take it 3 wide through the big turn 1 bend, which is never a good idea, and thought better of it. As we watch Ronnie now trying to defend this position, holding the inside line, coming up to this sequence of corners. There's that little kink there where you want to stay to the right side of the racetrack to open the corner up. Manages to hold his position on the outside. Now he will have the inside line into this right-hander as they come on the back straight. Just misses the grass there as a car goes off in front of them.
That's Velinov. It's Velinov in the wall. So yeah, he's done what Sean's done, and he's messed up the exit out onto the back straight. We've seen plenty of people doing that in practice, and it's catching some people out in the races. We've got another car leaving the pits. I think it's one of the Is it one of the Fragmaster cars? Who is that?
It is. That is Michael Malik in pit lane again, going very slowly. He's now parked it at the end of pit lane. He had blue flag warnings, but he's not compelled to stop at pit lane exit, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Been in once already. Earlier, he was in pit lane for a penalty. So we saw after he came out, and we were looking at the racing around the rest of the order, that he had a penalty cleared. So for whatever reason, oh my goodness! So he came out of pit lane from a full stop with a blue flag letting drivers come by, and then he decided to go and came across the circuit to get off the racing line. Nearly collected a car. I think it was Vitor. I'm not sure because the car flashed by so quickly. It was Vitor. And now Michael Malik off again. Bosner Velinov off again in front of our cameras. It's all coming undone for a number of drivers, Pete. Oh, yeah. My goodness. Yeah, we just switched away. Velinov nearly got collected by a couple cars coming through as he was returning to the circuit. Pete, my heart's in my throat.
Absolutely. Someone who is coming good for, Yoni Katila at the front. He only needs to finish 25th or better to clinch the title in this race, Travis. So if he finishes where he is at the moment, that's it. Championship is his.
Yeah, and at this point, as you say, it looks like he has it pretty much wrapped up. We know he's as quick, if not quicker than everyone else, and he's got a clear lead now. He just needs to settle into a rhythm and not make any mistakes. Avoid the back markers, which look a bit more hazardous than usual today. And you are right. He will have locked up this championship.
Yeah, it's been a good run for Yoni so far as he makes his way on to lap number... what lap are we on now for him? He's coming on lap 8 now, down the hill into the infield section. And we've got some fighting going on in the background. Magic's just got past Soini on that lap, so Magic made his way past the world-class Lions driver. Soini seems to be qualifying really well lately, but it's coming a little bit undone in the racing. But good outright qualifying pace for him, so good improvements all round. He just needs to work on that racecraft some, I think.
Yep, I agree. I think you're right. As we switch pictures now to Santu Sara and Lukastik running in 3rd and 4th. These two have been fighting for the better part of a lap now. The two Fragmaster drivers running in 3rd and 4th. There's a really good onboard shot as, Lukastik has to back out of the throttle because he just got into the grass there. Bosner Velinov off again outside the cones. So we switch back to Lukastik one more time. Lost a little bit of time there. He was, at the start of the lap, all over the rear wing of his teammate, Santu Sara. Had to back out of the throttle as he came out of the previous corner on the grass a little bit. He will need to regroup, drive up behind his teammate once more, and try to snatch that position. Although he is falling into the clutches of Nico Pantola now, who is running pretty strongly in 5th, Pete.
Yeah, Nico putting on another good performance here. As he climbs the hill, he's going to be... Yeah, he is slightly gaining on those two Fragmasters cars, but he needs that gap to come down quickly because if he wants to make any more progress, he's running out of laps already. Because, they're only short races here. And, you've got to be underneath the rear wing for quite a while to get past because this car generates quite a lot of dirty air.
It really does. And... Excuse me, Pete. Yeah, this circuit, it's kind of tricky to get it right. This is this is one of those circuits where you really have to strike a balance. You have to decide, what your setup strategy is, because there are these really, really long straights. The front straight that has the wide right-hand turn, one bend, full throttle run to a pretty fast corner, and then the back straight that comes around to the last corner. These long runs at full throttle where you want to take downforce off the car to make it as quick as possible in a straight line. But the National Circuit has this really, that's a car opposite, holding the brakes and just avoiding collecting the cars behind. Those Santusara looked like put a wheel off onto the grass, just like his teammate had done a little while ago. His teammate managed to avoid spinning the car. Santusara did it really well there to avoid putting the car into the cement barrier under the bridge. Manages to continue in, he's going to be coming around at 4th or 5th position, I think, Pete. I saw Nico
he
Patola
definitely
come
lost
by.
some places there.
Yeah,
Yep.
that is Azar behind him now. I think Patrick Hall also went through. No, Patrick Hall's
Yeah,
behind.
so
No,
yeah,
Patrick Hall ahead of him now.
his
Sorry.
teammate takes
The
over,
standings are
and
still
Patrick.
updating.
Yeah, Patrick makes it up to P5 after all that chaos. Yes, so Fragmasters once again causing us some intrigue as Isaac Price goes ahead and sets the fastest lap of the race. He's flying through the field. He started from the pit lane, don't forget, and he's already up to P11.
He is, and I wonder how far up the order he can make it, as he uses all of the road there. Isaac is so precise. We could call him Isaac Precise Pete if we wanted to, because he cuts the margins so thin around the circuit, uses all of the road, squeezes everything he can out of the car.
I think he might like that one.
Yeah, I think he might. We'll talk to him after the race and see what he thinks. We were talking about striking the balance of the setup around this circuit, where you want to take the downforce off to be quick in a straight line, but everyone's struggling with that corner. Gabor off in the grass, manages to get out of the throttle, keep the point in the right direction. But this technical inner part of the circuit, you need a lot of mechanical grip, but it's fast enough where bolting on some extra downforce can make a big difference. So it's another question we might want to ask when the race is over is what direction the drivers decided to go with setups. If they took off the downforce and relied on mechanical grip as much as they could, or if they chose to put in a bit of extra downforce and try to make the inner part of the circuit work, even though they carry the extra drag around the faster parts of the circuit.
Yeah, Patrick Hall weaving on the straight, which implies we have a yellow somewhere.
There's a safety car out now, but we didn't see the call. We saw the red lights flashing in the background. You can see them on the gantry in the back of that shot. Not sure why. We'll have to tab around the order and see what caused this safety car.
Yeah, it's not immediately obvious to me why the safety car is out, Travis.
No, me either. I see.
There we go. We do have a car on its roof at the first sector. The cars are just arriving at that now. It is Unzal who is on his roll bar. So that's a very strange place to have had an accident before the apex. So anyone's guess what's gone on there, really. But there we go. We have a safety car. So everybody will follow Stuart Baker around for a couple of laps while this incident is cleared, and then we'll be back to green flag running probably on lap 13.
Yeah, I have to believe that happened as a result of a collision with another car, or it's a very fast part of the circuit there, so it's possible he put a wheel off and then backed the car into the barrier and then got LFS physics onto his lid. We obviously missed it watching the front of the order. But I believe that is the end of Insal's race. You cannot reset, and they will not flip him over from his lid. He will finish in last position, 26th today, 27th, my mistake. So we watched Jimmy Vertinen.
He's just got a drive-through. I think he went into the pit lane just as the safety car was called. So he's gone for some sort of stop. Pit stops aren't needed at all in LFSCART Light. You shouldn't need to pit. Especially in the two-race format. So anyone's guess why he's been in the pits, but whatever happens, he's picked up a drive-through, so he's not going to be making much more progress this race.
I believe he picked up that drive-through speeding in pit lane on the exit. As we were looking for the cause of that safety car, we could see in the background the lights flashing on the gantry, and then a couple cars ducked into the pits. Michael Malik was one of them, who's been in the pits 3 times now, I believe, and Jimmy Vertinen also dove for the pits. But David Balla might have as well. I'm not sure. I saw at least 2 cars die for pit lane, and Jimmy did not have a penalty when he came in, so I have to assume that he got a drive-through for speeding on the way out.
Yeah, so as all the cars weave their way across start-finish, we will have possibly one more lap under the safety car. The incident has been cleared, so this should be the final lap of yellow flag running before Yoni can set off again. Just under halfway, so this means everybody is bunched back up, and we have a fight on our hands again. Yoni has to do it all over again, open that gap up to Gabor. But it's now Daniel Lukastic who sits in P3. He started slightly lower down than that. Santu looking to recover back from P6. Nika Matola up to 4th, and Isaac there in 11th, now very much closer to Yoni. So there could be a fight on here, but Yoni's pace just seems to be in a different league at the moment. So how quickly can Isaac clear the cars ahead of him? He's got Zdravko Topolniak, who's not going to be hard to get past, just ahead of him.
Yeah, I think this is, as you said, becomes a little more interesting for Yoni up front. He is the class of the field. I think he has the best pace, bar Isaac Price. So Yoni is, Strafko nearly turns the car around there trying to heat the rear tires. Yoni, if Gabor gets a good jump on the start, they could fight for this top spot and maybe bring the cars behind them a bit closer with the two of them running side by side if they decide to battle through these first few corners. But this is really interesting for Isaac Price in the back. His pace was good, and he was flying through the order. He started from pit lane and worked his way from 21st, 22nd position all the way up to 11th. And now with all these cars bunched up ahead of him, they'll be fighting on the restart. I expect him to pounce and take a couple positions. He's got nothing to lose as that's Gabor goes through the cones while he's warming his tires. Yeah, Yoni wants to get a good jump on Gabor, build that lead again. But Isaac Price will be the driver to watch. He has a bunch of sitting ducks right ahead of him. We know he's quicker than nearly everyone ahead of him, except for maybe Yoni and Gabor.
This is a very late call for the safety car to come in. The safety car would normally have sprinted away by now, so I wonder if we're going to get one more lap behind the safety car, which is a bit unusual. The incident's been cleared for a while. Let's see what Stuart decides to do here.
He stays wide of the entry line, so
he's going for another round.
Yeah, we'll come around one more time. Not entirely clear why. I wonder.
Hearing on our ear, sorry, Travis, there was a position issue, so some drivers are out of position, so they were just getting the drivers back into the correct order. And yeah, that's now been sorted as far as I'm aware. So one more lap now that everyone is in the order that they should have been when the safety car was called.
Safety car in at the end of this lap.
And the safety car is in at the end of this lap.
Yeah, the other thing that makes these restarts interesting, especially after a long safety car period like this one, we've been going around 3-4 laps under safety car. You can see the drivers trying to cope with losing heat in their tires and weaving really aggressively to try to put it back in. We saw further back on the previous lap, Zdravko Topolniak trying to put as much heat as he can in the rear tires. It's really important in the slower corners on this circuit to get the power down, and drive out of the corner. You need plenty of heat and plenty of grip in the rear tires. So we can see Yoni weaving very aggressively. He is avoided going off the circuit, but several drivers behind him have been in the cones or off in the grass a little bit, trying to put as much heat as they possibly can, using all the circuit to get the heat back in the tires. Yoni's done a pretty good job of it. Further back, the tires are a bit colder, so that will make the restart really interesting. There's a car off in the back. Pete, that might be something race control has to sort out. That was Zdravko Topolniak, went way off the circuit and has rejoined behind where he was.
He's in the same place. Oh, he's gone off again, though. What is he doing? Was that some controller issue, or I don't know what's happened there. Isaac's gone past him. Isaac will now let him back through, but Zdravko will get a ticking off from the race control for that. You shouldn't be spinning out or losing control on these laps.
No, and he's looking at his tires. They're now quite dirty. Isaac Price would not have been compelled at all to give the position back to Zdravko Topolniak. Nope. He would fall back to wherever he rejoined on the circuit or whatever the discretion of race control would be. But Isaac, the gentleman, lets him back through. He'll have to do the job as they come around to the start.
Yoni's thinking about pouncing. Has he gone? I think he might have done. He has. So Yoni has bolted, and we are racing again on lap 13, which will become 14 now as they head across start-finish. It looks like Nika Bentola's got a little bit...
green flag.
A great restart there, because he's dropped back slightly from the Fragmaster's car. Someone who has had a good restart, it's Santu Sauer. Look at this. He's chasing Azar up the hill. He's gone to the inside, and that is a move done already. further back, 3 wide. Zdravko Topolniak in that battle there.
Yeah, that was really tight. The three of them nearly came together, and that's let Isaac Price jump on them. 3 wide, goes through the middle. The Ricardo's on to move, though the faster car this time, he'll have to tuck in line in front of Patrick Hall. Jakob Jeffen, and in behind Zdravko Topolniak. I have to believe that Isaac Price will do a quick job of this and then set off in pursuit of the leaders as we jump ahead to Nico Patola, who manages to take 3rd position there. Not sure what happened.
I'm not sure what's happened either, as we've got one of the other Fragmaster cars off. It's Santu Sara. The Fragmaster's cars just don't want to be on the tarmac today, it seems. Yeah, not what is going on there. The Fox Masters are having a disaster here. Yoni Katilla, though, masterful restart, absolutely brilliant. Gabor has nothing to say for that, but Nico Pantola, that is a good one, up to P3 for him. Gabor runs wide again, so do both of the Fragmasters cars. Santu nearly loses it into the wall, in fact, and he's going to lose some time, and he's going to get overtaken here by Azar, surely.
Yep, I believe he will. Azar easily alongside, should clear him. He does before they come to the braking zone. He'll want to cover off the inside, avoid a dive from the Fragmaster car. He does, down to the curb and through this final corner. Job done. As we see Patrick Hall now under pressure from the other Fragmaster driver. We talked about setups a little bit ago, and we've noticed the Fragmaster cars really struggling to keep the car on the circuit, especially through these corners with, kind of medium speed corners that benefit from both mechanical grip and downforce. These two go side by side through the first corner here, nearly touching wheels. Patrick Hall left him as much room as he could, staying wide on the grasscrete. Side by side once more through this sequence of bends. Patrick Hall is going to have a stronger position coming into the next left-hander, but he'll want to get this done before they come to the series of right-hand bends. He does. Patrick Hall up to 4th position. I wonder if the Fragmaster cars are carrying less downforce and struggling with grip through these medium-speed corners, because they have consistently been off in the grass, whereas everyone else, for the most part, not having any trouble.
Yeah, and here we go. This is now a lot of pressure for Patrick. He's up to P4. He's got past Daniel Akastic. This is good stuff. And he's now got to defend from the 2 Fragmaster cars as Santu goes for a move on his teammate, and they are now side by side. And that gives Patrick some breathing room, because those two are going to squabble surely. Santu Sara trying to get past on his teammate, while his teammate was trying to get past Patrick.
Safety car, safety car, safety car. The yellow flag is out, safety car now.
Safety car happened now. Let's have a look.
That is Massier is on his lid around the back of the circuit. Jonathan Palmer there on the scene. That will be the end of the race for the 45 race green machine. While all this excitement is going on from positions 4th back to 7th or 8th, Isaac Price was able to get through his Zdravko Topolniak pretty quickly on the previous lap, and will now be right behind all of the cars that we were watching have that scrap through the infield of the circuit. This race coming to Isaac Price.
Yeah, but thanks to all the confusion before the last restart, I'm pretty sure he didn't get the best restart that he would have wanted because of what was going on ahead of him. So that's probably, he's got Zdravko Topolniak behind him now, which for the restart might be a good thing. He's getting ever closer, and these safety cars, as you mentioned, definitely helping out. He's got Alexei Lemurto ahead of him, though, and that's going to be a challenge.
I think you're right. The Sidus car is pretty quick. Nico Pantola, Nico and Gabor, the class of the Sidus drivers today. Alexei Lemurto seems like he's been struggling. We kind of expected him to come further up the order a little bit more quickly after he went off early, but has not. But Isaac Price in the catbird seat, nothing to lose. He doesn't have to protect championship points because he hasn't fully participated in the season. He's not running for a team's championship. He's not looking for a strong finish in the driver's standings. He can send it to try to go for a race win or as strong a finish as he can find with 7 cars ahead of him. I expect he'll go a little bit more quickly than some of his competitors.
Yep, for sure. As we take another look at the championship standings and confirm that, yes, Yoni Katilla, if it finishes like this, can win the Drivers' Championship after this race. He needs to do it again, though. It's never comfortable, is it? If you're leading and you have safety cars and you have to make sure that your restart goes perfectly well. It's the only thing of your race that you cannot control, and that is the driving of others. So let's see how he fares on this, second restart. 3rd start for Yoni.
So looking further back, they have cleared the stricken car of the stricken race green machine of Mastia. I don't know. We haven't seen a call that the safety car will be in this lap. Looks like Stewart is going to keep it wide of the line there, which usually indicates he's going to stay out to the middle of the circuit. Now we'll go around one more time. As you said, this is the only thing out of the driver's control. We've seen this several times from Yoni. Well, we've seen it a couple times in this race from Yoni, and we've seen it in past rounds. He is really good at responding to the pressure of a safety car restart. You get into a rhythm, and it's frustrating to have your rhythm disrupted and then have to do the work of extending your lead once again. We've seen him do it before. He's done it today. I don't anticipate he'll have any trouble. Gabor, he's gotten a second chance at a restart here. Another safety car, another car on its lid. He can regroup, think about how he wants to do his restart to try to get as good a jump as possible and be on top of Yoni, so he has just a hope of keeping up with him and maybe taking a race win here. But it does look like Yoni's still fully in control.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been 2 perfect launches for Yoni, and he needs to make a third. It needs to be third time lucky as well in order for him to try and capitalise on what he's got in terms of track position. As we ride on board with Guyot. Yoni seems to be choosing very different places to gun the throttle every time. He went very early for the first safety car restart. Where will he go this time? Safety car is in this lap. Our race controller, Jonathan Prevost, today has let us know about that. So, Yoni's done everything right so far. He just needs to do this right and hope that no more safety cars impede his progress towards the Drivers' Championship crown of LL. Oh, goodness me, that was close.
I was about to open my mic and talk about Isaac Price and gasped as I did because Gabor nearly got into the rear of Yoni Katila there.
It's all bunching up quite comfortably.
Yeah, that's a little too close for comfort. That's one of those things, as you said, that Yoni can't control is other drivers, and that was nearly a heart-stopping moment there. So the leaders warming their tires. Yoni, Gabor, Nico, all have equipment in pretty good nick to take the restart. But the drivers further back have not been doing it as aggressively as we see Yoni go. Isaac Price has warm tires, and the drivers ahead of him do not. So we might see a strong restart from him as Yoni comes around the final corner. Gabor does not get the jump, but he does have his teammate all over him. Nico Patola right there. Though he went a little bit wide. Somebody off in the background. That was either Zdravko Toponiak or Alexei Lamerto.
It was Lukastic for Fragmasters. Yeah,
dreadful restart from him.
Having a terrible day. That's all I can say about that. Yoni's had a dream start. What a start. How has he managed that? He's pulled out a really large gap over Gabor already, and Gabor under threat from his teammate Nico Pantola. So Nico's had another good start. Patrick Hall, similarly, he's managed to latch onto the back of the Sidus cars. Sarah's not had a bad restart. He's actually had a pretty good one, but I think Lukastic must have helped out his charge because the gap behind is quite large. We've got Azar, then Isaac Price. Isaac's had a good restart too.
He has, yeah. Further at the front, cars quickly went single file as Yoni took off, as we've got Sarkinen off the circuit and back on again. Isaac Price got Alexei Lamerto before they even came around to the infield and is now alongside Azar, going to have him on the outside of this tight corner. A really nice move. He's now up to 6th position. And Sentusara struggling ahead of him. I think Isaac will be on the scene in just a few moments' time.
Sean Lee's on a bit of a recovery. If you remember, back to the start, he was in 18th after his spin at the previous corner, and now he's in a 3-way fight. He's got a Sidus car and Zdravko Topolniak, 3 wide. Zdravko in the middle, Sean on the inside. Oh, narrowly avoiding any contact, but that's great stuff. Lamerto, there's a wobble there from Zdravko.
Yeah, he just touched the grass on the exit of the corner there. It's really, even in these cars that are pretty light and don't have that much power, it's easy to let the car run wide, especially if they're not carrying as much downforce. I really wonder if they aren't carrying as much downforce as their competitors. We can see Sean Lee looking to the left with Alexei Lamerto there. Sean Lee takes the position. Recovery indeed, Pete. Went to the back and now running 8th.
He will now be running 7th. Oh, no, he will be running 8th. You're right. There we go. As he heads to the sector time. Super confusing, but there we are. Sean making good progress. Alexei down to P8 after starting on the front row, can you believe? There we go, confirmation on your timing tower. Lap 19 for Yoni Katila, look at that. The gap already up to 1.02 seconds over Gabor. He is in a different league, and he is heading exactly where he needs to be. Heading for his championship hopes, as Isaac is now closing in on Patrick Hall. Patrick, who's also doing very well in the championship. He'll want all the points he can get too, and he'll want to keep Isaac behind him. Isaac is a force, and you know that drive from the back of this challenging field with so many talented drivers. Yep, it's only taken him 20 laps to get here. Here he comes.
Yeah, this would be a tall order for Patrick Hall to keep Isaac Price behind him. Patrick a little bit wide, on the power, lost control of the car a little bit, had to collect it. That let Isaac get right under his rear wing coming under this fastback straightaway. Patrick Hall now has positions 2 through 4 in his sights. I think Yoni is off into the sunset, but second position, I think that's a realistic proposition for Isaac Price. He's dealt with everyone handily on these restarts, and he can see his competitors apart from Yoni right there ahead of him as he crests the hill and comes into this first bend. Isaac Price, as you said, a force, and they will have to reckon with him in the final laps of this race.
Yeah, as we see all the cars filing through the first corner. Who's that on the grass? Is that Gabor? Yes, it is. He's been caught by his teammate now, and we have a three-way battle for P2. We have 2 Sidus cars and Santu Sarah for Fragmasters, who are going to be in a fight, which is going to allow Isaac Price the best chance of a podium he's had all race as he catches these 3.
Yeah, Isaac will be salivating. This is the dream when you're coming from behind like this and you see your competitors all bunched up and dicing for position, 2 wide through this corner. When you're in Isaac Price's position, this is the dream scenario that all 3 of them fight. Maybe one of them collects another one and goes off or gets a bad exit from the corner, and you can just steam by and take these positions. The drivers ahead, they have to realize that. They can see the standings and they can see Isaac Price in the mirror. Isaac Price's car is the only one that looks like that. They know who's coming. And, sometimes you have to think, you have to use a bit more discretion and kind of put the aggression and the desire for a strong finish aside to salvage the best position you can. These guys, as far as I can tell, they have no idea Isaac is back there, and they're going to continue dicing one another and just give away one of these positions to Isaac when they could probably hold position and still secure a strong finish. It's a lot of risk ahead of somebody who is going to take that position because he is so much quicker and so much more motivated.
Yeah, it's the tricky balance between the endurance and sprint race mindset, and these guys have got the sprint race mindset. They're going to go for every move. They're not going to work together, and it's going to bite some of them on the bum because here he comes. He's going for a look on Santu.
Oh, Pete was so quick through the second corner. You could see him just lean out of the throttle and use the rear of the car to steer it down to the apex, and then powered the car out all the way to the edge of the circuit. You can see the rear of the car ahead of him, Santu Sara, kind of dancing on the edge of the grip. Isaac, even in the slipstream, in the dirty air, got the power down so early and was able to drive off the corner. Sara goes a little bit deep there. Has to use a lot of front-end grip to get the car down to the apex. I think he's going to have big problems in the name of Isaac Price coming down to the final corner.
Not just Isaac Price. He's bringing Patrick Hall with him too. These 3 have caused each other a nightmare. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, Santu Sara, he's working hard. He'll easily be able to make, well, I say easily, he can make the dive here. Whether he holds position will be another thing entirely as he runs a little bit wide. He's going to touch the grass as he comes off the curb, has to lean out of the throttle. That lets the Sidus car come alongside. These 2 are going to run side by side. Once again, the dream scenario for Isaac Price. These 2 running side by side, slowing each other down. Now weaving across the circuit. They don't have to do this. They're just gifting this to Isaac Price. I'm sure he is grinning ear to ear inside that pretend helmet in that bright blue race car. He has to be loving this.
Yeah, those 2 are trying to work together with the slipstream to pull away at that point, but it's futile. It's absolutely futile. He's going to catch them. It's just a matter of when. Yeah,
it's we say sometimes, or you might chat to one of your competitors, it's happening, and I think that's the case here today. There's no avoiding it. It is simply a matter of when and not if. Isaac Price can afford to wait a little bit here, though. Nico's fallen back a little bit, so they're not going to be running side by side. Isaac had to do a little bit more of the work himself, whereas earlier, he had kind of relied on his competitors to maybe do a bit of the work for him. But pictures at the front, Yoni Cantilo, while all this is happening behind him, Yoni has extended a lead to almost 4 seconds. Pete, he's on a mission.
Yeah, he's he doesn't need to prove anything, does Yanni? But he is proving something here to any of his doubters out there. Not that he has any. As Isaac is closing up to the back of one of the Sidus cars, that's Nico. He's lost touch a little bit with Santu. He needs a good exit, but yeah, as Nico gets a little bit more rear angle than his competitors, he could be under pressure here. Isaac's got a good exit. He's not quite close enough to make a move, I don't think. He might be.
Yeah, Isaac heroically late on the brakes there, and he's just inside the slipstream, but I don't know that he's close enough to get right under the rear wing of Nico Patola. Though, we have seen him coming through this sequence of bends, even in the dirty air, he's a lot quicker. He does a really good job getting out of the power, just leaning out of the power to get the weight of the car to transfer. You can see it there. Nico Patola a little bit on the edge of grip there, but Isaac, leaned out of the power, got the car all the way down to the apex and was able to power out earlier. And now we can see him right on top of Nico Patola coming through this sequence of bends. The rear of the car working really well for Isaac Price.
Yeah,
Nico Patola is going. Yeah, Nico Patola will have Isaac Price problems in just a few corners, I think.
Yeah, Isaac Precise, as you called him earlier. Anyway, here we go. Santu Sara was a bit sideways, and he's gone a bit deep again on the entry. That's put Nico off. You can see Nico had to respond to that and went wide himself. And here we go. There's going to be a draft battle up the back straight.
Oh, Isaac's in the power so early. Nico Patola just can't quite get into the throttle that early. Isaac Price going to look to the right side here. We know he can go deep on the brakes into this final corner, but this will be tricky because carrying the speed around the outside, it's really easy to put a wheel off and go into the grass over the curbs, though he clears Nico Patola before the corner, all the way down onto the curbing on the inside, avoids the white line on the outside. Nico Patola tries to tuck it up the inside to shorten the corner as much as possible, but Isaac Price is off in pursuit of P3 now. Took fourth position from Nico. He'll have to defend this from him. Really great shot from the rear of the car. Nico going to look to the outside. I think this is a futile effort. Isaac Price has the inside here. We know he can carry a lot of speed through the next bend. Nico thinks better of it, tucks in behind. Isaac Price takes fourth and sets off to take third from Santu Sara.
Yeah, with it, he also took the fastest lap with all that slipstreaming he was doing. He did a 1:29.42, which is pretty amazing. And anyways, Nico drops down to P5. Santu Sara the next. And look, Isaac's already there. He's already right underneath his rear wing. And this will be the podium move for him if he can pull it off. He's running out of laps, though. He's not got too long to get this done.
He doesn't. I feel like he's got enough time, though. When you get into a rhythm like this, and you can see it from Isaac, how it's a matter of inches, just centimeters in a few different places, but you can see how much more precise Isaac is. You can see him just using the rear of the car to steer there, the steering wheel nearly neutral, using the power to get the car around the corner, is in the power really early. Coming up on Santu Sara, coming to the final corner here. I don't think he'll be close enough to make a move here. About 2-3 car lengths back. This really nice deep helicopter shot. I like this a lot. But you can see he's later on the brakes. He gets the front of the car, fully loaded, is able to drive down to the apex and then power off. And even through that corner where the dirty air makes a big difference, he's just as close to Santu Sara. Santu Sara is a sitting duck. Isaac Price is going to go by. It is only a matter of time. Isaac Price having a dream race today, as we see Patrick Hall alongside Nico Patola decides to tuck back in. Patrick Hall having a really good race as well today.
Yeah, he is. He's not up at the top of the standings for no reason. He's put in really good drives all season long. And yeah, Nico's dropped off the pace. I wonder if he made an error. I don't know what's happened there, but he's right with Patrick. And Patrick wants P4 in this race. I do not blame him.
No, not at all. He's entitled to it. As you said, he's put in the time, he's put in the practice. Santu Sara is a little bit wide there. That's going to help Isaac Price close that gap, extended a little bit through the infield. Isaac may have made a mistake himself. But further back, we were talking about Patrick Hall. Once again, he won around the oval at Rockingham. Looked like it was going to get away from him just through terrible luck, but managed to hold on and keep Zdravko Toponiak behind him by a few fractions of a second. It's one thing to win on an oval with so many of these talented oval drivers, and it being a mostly different discipline from road racing, but to keep Zdravko Toponiak behind you in particular is really impressive. And he's been consistent everywhere else. Patrick Hall having a great season and on for a strong finish in the first of 2 races here today at Westhill.
Yep, this is just race 1 of 2. If you're just joining us, you're watching round number 5 of 5 in the 2021 season of New Dimension Racing's LFSCART Light Series. And what a race it's been. Yoni Katila can win the championship today if he finishes where he is right now, or in fact, if he finishes 25th or above. That's as simple as it is, and that's all that anyone else. Well, that's all that we can say about it, really. And seeing as there are only 25 cars left in the race, I'll leave you to figure out the rest. As we watch Patrick Hall come through turn 2, he's trying to catch Nico Pantola. He was ahead briefly, but yeah, it's tough, isn't it, Travis, to catch and then pass a Fox around here?
It really is. You rely so much on mechanical grip, but you need the downforce to get through the middle part of the circuit. We talked about the setup strategy earlier, and we'll have questions for the drivers at the end of the race. Looks like it's not as working as well for Patrick Hall through the middle of the circuit as Sean Lee. That has now become a three-way battle. Nico Pantola got away. We can see Sean Lee throwing a dive up the inside of Patrick Hall in the background. Sean Lee's alongside. He's nearly got it done, though he'll have to tuck in here. Patrick Hall takes position before this corner. Sean Lee struggled here earlier. Sean, like, really, really tight on the apex. Just missed the bollard. Really good drive off the corner. Don't think he's close enough to Patrick because Patrick also got really good drive off the corner. But Sean Lee went to the back early in the race when he went off under the bridge that we see trailing away in the background. Now looking for 5th position. As we look back to Isaac Price, the precise driver, once again all over the rear of Sentu Sara. We talked about it being a matter of when and not if, and now Isaac Price fell back a lap ago and is now right there with Sentu Sara once again looking for 3rd position.
This is the position that every sim racer in LFS wants to be in, but also doesn't want to be in. You want to be in a race with the good guys. What you don't want to be is chased by them with 2 laps to go. It's uncomfortable, especially when it's for the podium. Santu's doing a great job here, to be fair, and to be fair to him again, this is the most screen time he's had on our channel without falling off the track in quite a while.
Yeah, he had a rough start to this race, put a few wheels off, kind of rubber banded a bit at the front of the order, and now he looks fairly comfortable. Well, he would look fairly comfortable in 3rd position were it not for this blue and yellow car being all over him. You can throw a blanket over these 2 cars. And as you said, you want to be with the quickest competitors. You want to feel like you are as fast as the fastest guys, but it feels a lot better to be fighting for 1st position a mile ahead of the guy in 3rd. This is not the ideal scenario for Sentu Sara. He wants a podium position, and it feels good to race with somebody as quick as Isaac Price, but at this point he's trying to preserve a strong finish, and Isaac Price is just so strong that that's a lot of pressure, and it's tough to keep a guy behind you like that.
Yeah, I have to admit, though, that Santu seems to be doing a really good job. Isaac's dropped back, if anything, on that lap. So, Santu could hold on for the podium if everything goes his way. Yoni Katila starts the final lap of race 1. You see in the background, Santu feeling as though he has to go slightly defensive to keep Isaac out of the slipstream. There's a battle further back between Alexei Lemurto and Zdravko Topolniak. In fact, I think Zdravko, what's happened to him? Is he in the pits? No, he's just dropped back miles. He's dropped like 4 positions on that lap.
Yeah, these cars have struggled for grip. The Fragmaster cars have not been as strong today as we're accustomed to seeing them. Sentu Sara running near the front of the order, but all the other Fragmaster cars have dropped back from fairly strong starting positions. Yeah. You see Isaac Price now all over Sentu Sara. Sentu looks like he's really struggling with the car, though. Isaac not as precise to the corner as we have seen him before. He doesn't have much time left to get Sentu Sara. It felt like this was a foregone conclusion a few moments ago, but he still has the work to do as we look ahead to Yoni Katila coming through this corner for the final time under the bridge, and he will drive up the hill and over the crest to the final corner. And I'd say at this point, this is pretty much done unless he makes a catastrophic mistake in the final corner. He is going to win the first 2 races here at Westhill today. He started this lap as... Oh, sorry, Pete. Nice change of shot there. Sentu Sara has Isaac Price all over him. What happened there? Sentu Sara had a lead of about 4 or 5 car lengths. We'll watch Yoni come across the line and then look to that battle in the background. Yoni takes the win in race 1. What has happened behind these 2?
I have no idea. We're going to find out. It looks like Isaac has not only got past, but he's opened the gap. How has he managed that on the last lap? The gap was quite big. It was quite big.
It was quite
impressive.
He had 5 or 6 car lengths. Isaac was... Sentu had missed a few apexes, went wide on some of the corners in the infield. As we see the rest of these cars coming across the line now, Yumi Virtanen in a P10. We're looking down to 13th, 14th, 15th in the order now. Yeah, we switched to Yoni to watch him come across the line as we're bound to do, to give the leader his due attention, and then
Not just the
suddenly
leader.
Isaac Price was alongside Santu Sara. I wonder if Santu put a wheel off. Well, I guess we'll have to ask him later.
Not just the leader, Yoni Katila is your 2021 LFSCART Light Drivers Champion. He's done it. He's wrapped it up in race 1. I'm sure he'll be glad to know that. And yeah, what an effort this season from him. He's really been the class of the field. And Isaac Price, in the dying stages, starting from the pit lane, has managed to get onto the podium on the last lap. And it didn't look like it was going to be a thing. Santu looked like he had it all covered. And then Isaac's just, I think he sold him a dummy, frankly.
Yeah, he must have. We last saw them coming into the infield, and it was a 5 or 6 car length lead, and then we switched back, and they were alongside coming up the straight here. So we see Santu pushing Isaac up the hill as he tries to avoid tagging the leader, the winner, Yoni Katila, as they come through the final corner to end the cool down lap. Now there's a little bit of skullduggery going on in the background. It looked like Santu Sara had gone off, or maybe Isaac Price into the barriers. Everyone goofing around on the cooldown lap. This is the dream for Yoni Katila. Apart from winning a championship, winning the race handily, and then winning the Drivers' Championship, now he gets one more race today where he can just have fun. He doesn't have to put his head down and concentrate. He still wants to win, but now the pressure's off. He can drive away. He can try to set fastest laps. He can back off. He can run side by side. He can run with his friends and have a good time in the second race.
Yeah, Yoni Katila wins ahead of Gabor Gayur, and Isaac Price rounds out the podium. Yoni Katila wraps up the 2021 season with that, but as you mentioned, he has one race just to have fun and rub it in everyone's faces. Santu Sara denied the podium on the final lap by Isaac, finishes in a respectable P4. The best of the Frag Masters drivers after they had a pretty awful race in general, I think it's fair to say. Nika Bentola finishes P5, Sean Lee in 6th. Patrick Hall, he'll be a bit disappointed with that, I think. I think he had the pace to finish higher. He has another race to make it up, though. Imran Azar finishes P8. Alexi Lamurto from P2 down to P9. Not a good race for him. And then Jimmy Vertinen rounds out the top 10. Oh, we've got another race coming up, Travis. I can't quite believe it. I think we've had our fill of action for the day, but we're going to be treated to another one.
Yeah, that was a proper dose, a full 2,000 calorie diet of excitement, and we have one more to go. So we'll finish this season full after race 2 is finished. As we see the podium finishers there in the background, rounding out the race results. 27 cars in the race today. Unsal went off early, finishing there in last position. Michael Malik was in the wars early on in the race, made a number of pit stops. Not sure what happened to him. Hopefully we can ask him some questions in the interviews when this is all done. But there you go, Yoni Katila in the middle. Race winner by about 5 seconds. Isaac Price snatching the last podium position there on his right. And then Gabor in second position there on his left.
Absolutely. And Sean's just been in the chat to say that he went from P5 to P20 and then back to P6. And yeah, fair enough. That is a pretty dramatic race. And to finish P6 after all that is, well, hats off to you, Sean. I'm sure we'll catch up with him in an interview at the end. He always likes to come and say hello. But yeah, that's worth mentioning as well.
Yeah, mighty drive from him. As you were running down the order, we kind of jumped past him, but yeah, if we had to pick drivers of the day for the first of these 2 races, Yoni, obviously, really well done to him. Isaac driving from pit lane up to 3rd, and then Sean. I think we've given Sean a hard time in the past about some of his driving, but he has really cleaned it up lately. He's putting in strong performances, getting strong finishes, and he made a mistake on his own, which happens sometimes, and then he put his head down and drove from nearly the back all the way up to 6th position. Really, really impressive from Sean.
Yeah, he's had a good year and he's getting better, and he needs to keep doing performances like that, but without the initial error that meant he had to climb the field again, because who knows where he would have finished. But anyway, we will find out in race number 2 coming up in just a couple of moments' time how he will get on, starting from that position. But we will have a reverse grid as well, and we will try and find out what that reverse grid is going to look like for you as soon as we can. We'll take a very quick break here. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to have race 2 of 2 tonight, the final race, the what will it be? It'll be the 9th race of LFSCART Light coming up in just a few moments' time. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back to round number 5, the season finale of NDR's LFSCART Light Series in 2021 on Sim Broadcast, Twitch and YouTube this afternoon for your entertainment. Travis, Yoni Katilla, he's just wrapped up the Drivers' Championship.
He has, and while we were on our break, I went and planted a couple seeds. One with Yoni. I have appealed for maximum entertainment value, congratulated him on his championship, and asked him to give us a show. So we talked about how Yoni is, the pressure is off now. He'll be starting from 9th position. We're going to reverse 9 of the grid positions at the front of the field. He'll come. He'll be starting from 9th, and hopefully we can see him drive to the front, give everybody a hard time ahead of him now that the pressure is off to secure a championship. And also Sean Lee. We talked about how his drive in that race was very impressive. 5th, back to 20th, back up to 6th. We'll get some words from him after this race as well.
Yeah, hopefully. No guarantees, of course, but hopefully he comes to say hello. Yeah, we have an exciting race. Top 9 reversed, as you mentioned, coming up in just a couple of moments' time. And here's what that's going to look like. It's going to be another 28-lap race around Westhill National for your entertainment this afternoon, the final of the year. So let's all enjoy it. NDR have put on a super season again for us. Just unrivaled quality, I think it's fair to say, in LFS at the moment. NDR are doing a super job, and long may they reign.
Yes, indeed. While we're getting the grid set, we can take a moment to thank everybody who's been involved. The New Dimension Racing guys, again, putting on a great series, big grids, exciting racing. It's been a lot of fun for us to watch, and a lot of fun for us to bring to everybody who is watching on Twitch, watching on simbroadcast.tv. It's been a pleasure. We've had a great time.
Yeah, we do enjoy doing these and bringing the pictures to you. So if you want to hit that follow button, we would appreciate it. Let's see. The drivers are just about ready to go. We are waiting on the race director to give us the go-ahead, and we will bring you the pictures of the final race of the season. It's going to be a fun one. It doesn't really have any consequence because Yoni has wrapped it up. But let's go to the track, Travis, for one final time this year.
Yep, grid is set. Should be coming up shortly to roll off on the parade lap. There we go. We got those pictures now with Alexi Lamerto in P1. He started P2 in the first race. Strong qualifying performance just behind Yoni Katila in pole possession in race 1. Didn't go the way he had hoped. Finished in 9th position, but that promotes him to P1 for the start of this race. And then we can see Daniel Lacoste alongside him, Santusara, Dan Bala, Patrick Hall. Dan Bala had a pretty quiet race. Finished right behind Patrick Hall, now promoted to 4th to start race 2.
Yep, and Lexi Lamerto leads away a field of drivers who were a lot more patient that time. No one forgetting the roll-up lap, which is always good. So
Sorry,
here we go.
Forgive my mistake there. I was looking at the connection order and not the starting order there. Dan Bala pretty far back, not up the grid. I was a little surprised to see him up there in 4th position, but that's not the case at all. That's my mistake. I apologize.
No worries. Yeah, here we go. Alexi Lamerto, he gets a second chance, this time from a position higher on the grid than he was before. Yep.
Yeah, we know he's a very strong driver. He ran the Master Race Car Formula One series little less than a year ago, last winter, and participated in 3 of 5 events and still won the championship. Just barely won the championship over Zdravko Duponiak, who tried to snatch it away from him in the waning laps of that series. So we know Alexi Lamerto is accustomed to the pressure, and he is a stunningly quick driver, but struggling a little bit today. Hopefully he can gather it up, do a little bit better from P1 without the pressure of Yoni Katila on top of him. Though Yoni Katila, starting from 9th position, he has an opportunity here to just have a bit of fun.
Yeah, it does indeed. Let's see how far up the grid he can climb. Remember, he's got Isaac Price starting directly ahead of him on the grid. It's going to be a fun one between those two, I can guarantee it. Isaac took home the fastest lap of the race last time. Will he do it again as the drivers roll up to the grid for a standing start?
So, Pete, I have just noticed this. I asked for Yoni to give us a show starting from 9th, and he has elected not to start from 9th. He is not taking the grid. If you look, you will see he is at the pit exit line. He is going to attempt to drive back to front to give us a show in the final race of the season. This will be something. I had not anticipated this. I don't know if he anticipated this. Perhaps I've goaded him into it. Maybe we'll get a chance to ask him about it. But I think this will be fun to watch. See how much work Yoni can do starting from, not quite the very back. He's got Siemens Takavicius right behind him. But Pete, I'll let you take it away from the grid.
Thank you, Travis. I did not realize that Yoni was not in P9. In fact, P9 is Jimmy Verton. And here we go for the lights. Oh, no, it's an aborted start. Something's gone wrong with the start. We'll have another roll-up lap, and we'll find out what on earth happened there. Possibly some cars out of orders at the back.
Yeah, there was a car in the background out of order, and it may have been Ayub. He asked permission for chat, which he was granted. So I think, they'll cycle everybody around again, make sure everybody's out in the correct order. I wonder if this has happened on account of Yoni Cotillo choosing to start from pit lane. That is, of course, his prerogative. He's allowed to do that.
But I mean, the drivers pulled away from the grid in the order that they would have been in. So, I mean, yeah, they just have to remember what side they pulled away from. Sometimes it happens, you know, and we get an aborted start. But Yoni's tyres and Talc Vicious's tyres are going to be getting quite cold. If I were them, I don't know if it's allowed in the rules, but if I were them, I'd rejoin with some fresh tyres.
Yeah, Yoni asked for permission. Seamus Talcavicius did as well, and he has said exactly what you just observed, Pete, is that their tires are stone cold. He has pitted. Yoni has pitted as well. They granted permission to reset. They will retake. Their positions at the end of pit lane as Alexa leads them around through the final corners in the infield.
Yeah, so 27 laps we will have. 1 lap gone because obviously these drivers will have very well calculated their fuel load, and with 1 lap gone, we don't want them to run out. There's now even less risk that they'll run out, obviously, because this wasn't a full speed racing lap. So Alexi Lamurto leading the field round, warming the tyres, and yeah, they should have some pretty warm rubber now for the start, so that should be extra thrilling. A confirmation in our ear that the laps have in fact been reduced to 27, so this will be a 27 lap shootout. Let's try that again, folks. Hopefully they know which side of the grid to start on. Keep an eye on the back of the grid, and we'll see if everyone can filter into position. There's Yoni and Simas at the back, starting at the end of pit lane.
Yeah, we can hear, I've got my camera on Yoni and Seamus at the end of pit lane, and I can hear one of them aggressively shifting up and down through gears with the clutch in. So they are raring to go. As we see cars in the back coming to the grid now. Hopefully they will have gotten it right this time. It seems easy when, you know, I guess in principle, all you have to do is just remember which car was ahead of you on the grid. Cars taking up positions very slowly at the back now.
Yeah, they're just trying to work it out. Well, it looks like we're getting there. 2 to go. And then the green flag will be flying. I think we're there, Travis. Do you want to take it away? You gave me the chance last time; it went wrong, so you're gonna have a go.
I'll have a go here, and we'll see we'll see how this goes. We can hear the revs coming up now. The green lights are already on because they had an aborted start. There's a car flickering in the background. Looks like it's back on now, and the lights are off. 5 seconds to lights. They should be coming up shortly. All of the red lights on, and a very long and
a long hold.
Yes, it is. It's a very long hold. I'm ready to shout them away from the start-finish line.
Oh,
and we've got
what has Sean done there? What has Sean done there?
Yeah, I think
that's going to be.
Now the lights are coming up. Oh, yeah, we'll have another aborted start. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Sean there. They held the drivers for a very long time. I can hardly blame Sean for going early there. I'm not sure what happened. I saw messages in chat that looked like the tracker had restarted. So I think that may have been a bit confusing for Sean.
Oh, okay. We've had some issues with our light program, but it seems to be working now. Sean has done a good job there.
Yeah, there we go. The lights are on. We should see them go off in just a moment. We'll wait to see what happens with Sean Lee as they set off from the lead. Sean Lee gets a really good jump from his position for a second time. Manages to slot in line behind these cars as Alexi Lamurto sets off up the hill. He's got Azar behind him in the master race car machine. Now alongside Patrick Hall, Sean Lee manages to swipe third position. The car's running 2 by 2, a few of them 3 wide coming through the sequence of bends. A really nice shot from far above the circuit. Everybody cleanly through the first corner. Sean Lee now looking for second position. He's got Azar on the inside. The master race car competitor just manages to sneak ahead. They'll jump on the brakes shortly behind Alexi Lamurto to come through the slowest part of the circuit. Sean Lee looked like he locked the rear brakes and just got into Azar. Manages to get across the grass.
He's rejoined.
Right.
No.
Yeah, he rejoins right in front of one of the Fragmaster machines.
No, it's carnage. It's absolute carnage in the back.
Everywhere.
Yeah, that was all caused. And he's gone off again. Yeah, okay. So, unfortunately, that was all caused by Sean. We were singing his praises before the race, but Sean... Oh, my goodness me. Okay, Alexi's got a great start, but we are going to see something here. What are race control going to do about that? I'm not sure what they can do. It's a hard thing to call.
Yeah, a lot of cars went off, but it looked like everybody managed to rejoin as a car. That's a Red Bull liveried machine. Yeah, he manages to... Oh, he had kept it down on the inside, and I thought he held his brake and then rejoined in the middle of the circuit. Really, really a rough start from everybody around this first lap. The first race, everybody was through so cleanly as we see another car off in the background under the bridge. Really rough start from everybody. I think everybody may have been thrown off a little bit by that really weird start with the lights app crashing and then restarting.
Yeah.
Sean Lee retaking his position and got a great start. And then, then it's gone wrong for everybody. Lots of cars off in the first lap. Seems like everyone has rejoined. But yeah, ragged stuff from everybody here, where we're accustomed to seeing mostly clean starts from all of these drivers. But there we have it. One lap down after we've had one lap taken off the lap count for an aborted start, following Lukostic now in 6th position. We've got Isaac Price running in 3rd. He is quickly moved up the order, now falling down to 4th. Nico Patola's gotten by him. Yoni Katila is the driver to watch. He started from pit lane and is now all the way up to 14th position, and he's about to take another one from Vitor. Pete, I think we got a moment to breathe now. That was a lot.
That was too much. Yeah, we love action, but that was too much. Yoni Katila making up 14 places, or 13 places actually, on the start, and trying to make this move around the outside on Imran Azar. That's not really going to work, is it? Sorry, that's Vitor, not Azar. Azar is somewhere else. Where is he? He's down the back now. He's in 25th. As we've got cars up ahead, we've got more spinning. I mean, this is crazy. Velenov's off. There was a Fragmaster car off as well. I think it was Sarah. It was Sarah.
Yep, Sarah. Yeah, the Fragmaster car is really struggling today. Bazanar Velinov had struggled in the first race as well and is repeating his performance from race 1, going off under the bridge there. Those cars apparently struggling for grip through that corner or just driving it too aggressively. Isaac Price down to 4th position from 3rd on the previous lap. Now has his work cut out for him to get by the 3 Team Sidus cars that are running in positions 1, 2, and 3. Alexei Limerto has set off with a pretty good gap in 1st position, 4 seconds ahead of his teammate Gabor, with Nico Patola 1 second further back in 5th position, and he will have mirrors full of Isaac Price.
Yeah, Yoni's still trying to get past the MRC car of Vitor, having a bit more trouble than maybe he thought he would. Up ahead of him, he's got the race green duo of Daniel Ballot and Roni Krompus. But it is currently an all-siders podium with Isaac Price lurking in 4th, some 5 seconds off the lead now. But remember, he did start further down in P7. In fact, Daniel Akastic, Jimmy Burton, and then Zdravko Topolniak, who's had a decent start, P7 for him at the moment, after all that carnage, which has put out some names we didn't expect to see so far down the order. Sean Lee having actually now retired from the race. Oh, no, he hasn't. He is down in P27, my mistake.
Yep, nearly at the very back. Imran Azar in that first lap carnage also fell well down the order, now behind the cars that had started last on the grid. Michael Malik, Unsal, Sarkinen at the back, Timo Soini back there as well. He's fallen to the bottom of the order. That was it was a little bit ragged from Sean Lee. We had, as you said, sung his praises for his performance in the first race, and then it's all gone wrong at the start of the second race. Yeah, could hardly blame him for the start with the race control app crashing, but then at the point that he was off the circuit and in the grass, needs to be a little bit smarter rather than rejoin across the wide fields in the infield of the circuit. I'm sure race control, as you said a few minutes ago, Pete, they will take a dim view of that, perhaps have some opinions to share with him.
Yeah, we're riding on board with Nico Pantola, Team Sidus driver, with Isaac Price in his JSRK is not an alpha. I beg to differ there, Isaac. Yoni Katila has dominated this season. There we are. As Sean has to get out of the way of these guys. He's now a lap down, having been through the pit lane.
Oh, Nico gets it a little bit wrong. Locked up the rear brakes and slid the rear of the car around the corner. Nearly got it sideways in front of Sean Lee there, which is a risky proposition. Nico, what happened there? Look, Well, Nico was a little bit out of sorts through the corner, but it looked like he got caught by an LFS curb, or is there a hard bollard there?
Yeah,
I think
it's one of the curbs. It's one of the curbs. It'll do that to you, and that's just unlucky. Sean couldn't have done anything about that. Yeah, not the ideal race for Sean. Let's find something else to look at, I think.
Good call, Pete. Look ahead to Nico, who got turned around there and somehow managed to rejoin. I think he must have done a full loop there on the circuit ahead of all the cars that were trailing him and managed to continue without too much damage. Pretty stunning recovery from Nico, considering the force of that hit going into the curb and the bollard. As we see Nico Patola now up into 9th position. That'll be 8th position. He's ahead of Dan Balla now. We'll see that update when he comes across the timing line. Can Yoni go from pit lane to the front of the order, Pete?
If everybody keeps driving as if this is wacky races, he can do anything. So Yoni's already up to P9. Anything's possible. Isaac's in P3. That's going to be a tall order to catch Isaac, but you know the gap's only 8 seconds, so who knows? It's a long race.
It is, and if the theme continues from race 1, we could see a couple safety cars. A few drivers ended up on their lids in race 1 in the early going. Yoni able to capitalize from the front, stretch his leads on the restarts. It would be nice to see. We would rather avoid a safety car, but if we got one, it would be fun to see how Yoni Katila restarts a race when he's not out in front.
Dan Balla went wide onto the grass just before the back straight. That hasn't given him, actually. That's not given Yoni as much of a run as I thought it would, but there you can just see him lurking in the back. Let's see how good Yoni is on the brakes. Keep an eye on the gap. See, he closes up on the apex as you expect, and then as we drive out of the corner, that is what separates Yoni from the rest of this field. He's mighty on the brakes.
He is. He carried so much more speed into the corner too. Later on the brakes, he went a little bit wider. It's hard to use the curbs to brake because they bump a little bit, and it's hard to keep consistent brake pressure on to maximize the braking. But Yoni really good at it. Later on the brakes, using more of the road, manages to slip there in front of Dan Balla, take 8th position. And now he's off in pursuit of Jimi Virtanen in 7th position. I expect he will have this pretty handily through the infield, if not coming out of it.
Yeah, that was really difficult, actually, because as Yoni went for the move on the inside, he went back into the dirty air of Jimmy, so it would have been really strange to have no dirty air and then dirty air at the apex from the car ahead of the car you just overtook, if you understand what that means. But there we are.
Well, yeah, it is difficult, you're right, but Yoni has the talent. He can make the car work in ways that many others cannot. And yeah, now he is hungry for P7. Jimi Virtanen has a lot of Yoni Katila in his mirrors, which I don't think anyone wants. See Yoni probably go late on the brakes here. He doesn't use all of the road, but he is able to take a pretty tight. He takes a tighter line through the apex, uses a little bit more of the road on the exit. Now he is firmly in the slipstream. I expect we will see a send coming into the final corner, and if he does not, he will be able to tuck right behind Jimi Virtanen and get him coming around the start-finish line on lap 7.
I can think of one scenario where seeing Yoni Katila in your mirrors is a good thing, Travis. It's as you cross the line in the lead.
Yeah, perhaps. Maybe crossing the line in the lead for the final time. I think that's about the only time you're going to see Yoni Katila behind you.
Here he goes. Can he make the same move on Jimmy as he did on Dan the previous lap? He might be a bit too far back for a send. He's going to go for it anyway.
Oh, that's a risky send.
That was a little bit rude. Of Yoni. But, you can do what he wants in this final race, really. As long as
he really can. I don't know if you can't wreck one of his competitors. No. That's not on. That's, but he can. Yeah, he can throw. You're right. He can throw a dummy like that. I don't want to call that a half-hearted attempt, but it did look like an intentional. It did look like an intentional dummy that was a bit close for comfort for Jimi Virtanen to try to get him to go wide.
That was definitely, there was no way that move was going to work unless Jimmy panicked. But anyway, there we go. He'll have another go. Yeah,
if I found myself in the position, which is difficult for me to imagine, but if I had if I'd been in the same position as Yoni is right now, I might try a feint send up the inside like that just to see if the guy is willing to go wide and avoid carnage. When I really don't have any intent to pull off a move like that. Fool a guy into making the mistake himself and then take the position. Though, doesn't look like Yoni needs any help. He is alongside Jimi Virtanen right now, later on the brakes, though he misses the apex. This is going to compromise his drive off the corner, though Jimi goes a little bit wide. I don't think he will have the slipstream. No, he's a little bit too far back. Jimi will be able to tuck up behind him coming into the first sequence of bends here, but Yoni has that position handily.
Yeah, up to P7. Super stuff. And closing in on the front. The gap's still 8 seconds to Isaac, so he's not lost anything, even though he's been ploughing through traffic, which is remarkable. He will have had the slipstream, of course, which always helps, but you've still got to get past the guy. And he's done that with some ease, it has to be said. He's got Nico Pantola up ahead, who will not make it easy for him. Nico is currently battling with Zdravko Topolniak. So Nico P6, Zdravko P5.
Yeah, we talked about that with Isaac in the first race, where when you're coming from behind, you really want to see cars battling, and Nico Pantola and Zdravko Topolniak are in the wars with one another. Nico got a really good drive off that corner. He's going to do a big send up the inside. Thinks better of it, gets into the brakes a little bit early, chooses not to dive under the corner, but does the, well, it's hardly a crossover because he was already on the inside, but he will tuck up right behind Zdravko Topolniak, coming out of the corner. Zdravko goes a little bit wide. Ooh, just manages to keep control of the car on the edge of the circuit. Nico had to take avoiding action, but is now right under his rear wing. And we have a safety car, Pete.
Yeah.
Didn't see why.
No, not yet anyway. I wonder who it was this time.
The 65. That is the 65 machine, the Born to Race car of Gonzalez on his lid in the sand. Coming onto the back straight, it looks like.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Cristobal. He started the first race from dead last on the grid. Yeah, we haven't seen much of him at all this evening. So there we are. Unfortunately, his airtime comes, and we can't even see his livery.
Yeah, we can't. I think the marketing executives at Born to Race won't be too thrilled with this. Oh, now we got a shot that catches Born to Race on the side of the car, and not just that carbon floor.
Yeah, it's upside down. The text is upside down too, so not fantastic. But there we are. Cristobal Gonzalez, unfortunately, his race is over, and we are back behind Stuart Baker. Now, this is where it gets exciting, Travis, because look where Joni Katila is, and look where our leaders are. He's only got a few positions to go. Remember, he's climbed up from the back of the grid. That's insane.
He has. He's climbed up from the back of the grid from pit lane. So he started a few seconds clear of the rear of the grid when they were released after the start. Only 9 laps into the race. We just started the 9th lap, so we're not even a third of the way through the race. They will be when they come across the line. We did not want to see a safety car because we want to see clean racing, everyone fighting with one another on the merits of their talent. But we're not too upset to see a safety car when we've got a performance from Joni Katila on the line where he doesn't have the pressure to take a championship. As we see the Sidus car punt off some of the cones ahead of him.
Yeah, we don't need them.
Yeah, Joni can give us. We asked for a show from Joni between the end of the first race and gridding, and we might just get it now.
As the cars make their way past the stricken car of Cristobal Gonzalez, he will be asked to remove himself from the race, and we will be going hopefully at the end of the next lap if everybody is in the correct order. Joni Katila, the reason we're pointing the cameras all over his car is because he won the Drivers' Championship after race 1 tonight. And if you're just joining us, you missed a heck of a race and a heck of a start to race 2. It was such a massive chaos. We've had everybody switching positions like I've never seen before. But it is currently Alexi Lamerto who started this race on pole from the P9 reverse grid situation we had after race 1. And he's followed by his teammate Gior, but Nico Pantola, who did have P3, has dropped down to P6 and is in a battle with the 2 Fragmasters cars. And in the middle of that sandwich is Isaac Price, who we haven't seen for a few rounds, but here he is in his blue and gold. Joni is not an alpha skin. About to see whether he can take a victory here in LFSCART Light. Which is it's not going to be easy. He's got 2 very, very fast drivers ahead of him.
He does. And speaking of sandwiches, if we look up ahead between Alexi Lamerto and Gabor in positions 1 and 2, there is a meat-colored car in a Sidus sandwich, the lapped car of Boznar Velinov. Gabor appealed for permission to chat from race control and has asked why Boznar Velinov is between himself and his teammate. There's no reason why Boznar Velinov shouldn't be there. He was lapped by Alexi Lamerto, but not Gabor.
He may have been expecting a wave round.
But he is under no obligation. Well, the race control under no obligation to wave him around. That's where he was on circuit when he was lapped by Alexi Lamerto. This is the proper running order. They could, at their discretion, ask Boznar Velinov to go by, but they have not done. So this is how they will come back to the start-finish line. Alexi Lamerto in the lead. Boznar Velinov, the lapped car, separating Alexi from his teammate, the other Sidus driver, Gabor, with Isaac Price in third. I think this will shake up the restart a little bit, having the lapped car there between the two leaders. He will... I think a tricky proposition to get out of the way of all of these drivers behind him on the restart without causing more havoc than he might already do, just being off the pace and having blue flags.
Yeah, he should just get straight out of the way, I think.
Yeah, I think if he wants to preserve a race for himself and everyone else, I think if it were me, I would dive for pit lane coming around to the restart. Just get well out of the way, drive down pit lane. He's not going to gain a lot of positions on the cars who are racing him at the back of the queue here. But we'll see how this goes. We'll see what he chooses to do. Yoni Katila there in 7th position, been putting on a show for us. Hopefully we can see a strong restart from him and good racing as they take the restart, Pete.
Yeah, Alexei Lemezzo is bolted. Let's see what Velinov does. He goes wide in the slipstream and actually off the circuit at the final corner. That's going to have annoyed Gabor slightly. I think it's not what he would have wanted, because now look right behind.
Green flag.
It's Isaac, as the green flag is called from race director Jonathan Provost. Isaac Price pulls out the slipstream. In the background, Zdravko making a move on Daniel. He's through.
Yeah, we've got the other two. We've got two of these Fragmaster cars racing. That's Zdravko Ponyak racing his teammate Lukastik in 4th position. Yoni Katila not able to get by Nico on the restart. Nico got a pretty strong restart, did not keep up with the cars ahead of him, but he was able to keep Yoni behind him by a few car lengths, 5 or 6 car lengths, I'd say, back there. Though he's going to be all over these Fragmaster machines coming through the infield. He had to jump on the brakes a little bit early there because it looked like one of the Fragmaster machines got the cars out of sorts, and this is going to let Yoni catch this train. Nobody wants this. Have Yoni Katila right behind them while they're trying to race cars ahead.
Car 33, unsafe during lap 1, turn 4-5.
Big send from Daniel Lukastik as we hear about a penalty for car 33. Sean Lee for that first lap incident. It can only be... Yeah, definitely deserved something. But there we are. 3 wide, it's going to be here.
Yeah, Zdravko Ponyak is really struggling with getting drive off of that corner and coming under the bridge. That allows the Sidus machine... Sorry, Lukastik, have been corrected in my ear. That allows Yoni to take 2 positions in one straight. Also racing the Team Sidus car. Both of them go through. That puts Lukastik back. And now Yoni is all over Zdravko Ponyak as they come across the line. He will be promoted to 4th position, surely. As they come through, Zdravko going to tuck in behind Yoni. And as we requested, Yoni putting on a show coming from pit lane. Ooh, he makes a really late move across the circuit to open up that sweeping corner. Nearly takes the front wing off Zdravko Ponyak's car. They avoid contact as we see a Master Race car machine looking at the outside there. Chooses to fall in line instead of sending on the outside. Now Zdravko Ponyak mirrors full of Nico Patola, who through all of that held 6th position.
Yeah,
these cars struggling behind Yoni.
These drivers must just be thinking, how on earth does Yoni Katila do that? Like, they're squabbling amongst themselves. Zdravko had what I would call a comfortable lead coming out of the final corner, and Yoni's just got the lot of them. He makes it look so easy. It's impossible to overstate how easy he made that look.
He does make it look incredibly easy as Zdravko goes, oh man, really hard on the power early through the corner, slid the car all the way around. That's not going to do any favors for his rear tires. Nearly lost control of the car. He's really aggressive over the inside curb as there's a Sidus car goes off in front of these two.
It's Gabor.
It was a Gabor from 2nd position. That promotes Isaac Price to 2nd. He's off on the escape road there, wide of the chicane. Alexei Lemerto off in the lead, but now he's got mirrors full of Isaac Price, and that will promote Yoni Katila to 3rd, the podium position from the end of pit lane at the start of this race, and he is within the gap. He has a smaller gap to the leader than he finished ahead of P2 in race 1. Yoni Katila could be on for a win here, coming from the very back. We asked for a show, and he is giving us one, as there is a show behind Yoni, going 3 wide briefly. Going to have a look up the inside here. This is a bold move from Zdravko Ponyak.
Yeah, that was a bit too close for comfort, and it's cost him.
I thought they would all be collected there. Going 3 wide in that bend is a very dangerous proposition, and that was a late send down onto the curb. There's not much grip down there because it alters obviously the camber of the corner is different when you're riding on that high curb on the inside. Good driving from Zdravko, though. He manages to keep the car under control despite being all the way down there by the bollard. As we look back to Rona Krampush defending from defending from one of the Pixel Air attack machines. Is that Sean Lee?
It's Sean. He's out of position. He's well within his rights to regain positions if he feels he can. I don't know whether this is the right time to be going for unlapping yourself, Sean. You know, I don't know. That makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable seeing that, to be honest.
Yeah, it does. That's a bit much from Sean, but I mean, he's done it cleanly.
Well,
a little bit late there. He's going to go off in the grass and nearly loses it. Yeah, I've changed.
I'm going to go with it.
I believe you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll find something else to look at. Lemurto, let's look at him as he comes around turn 1 with Isaac Price only half a second behind. Isaac is so good at the final corner, and he's going to be taking chunks out of Lemurto's lead every time he does it, I think, at this point. But let's keep an eye on that gap as well between Isaac and Yoni as he comes across the line. It's 2.2, but what is it now? 2.1, so he's gaining slowly.
Yeah, where I Alexi Lemurto, I would rue everything about this. Having Isaac Price behind after my teammate pitched the car off the circuit, not having friendly colors behind me to try to hold superior drivers back. So now he knows Isaac Price is there, and he's got Yoni Katila behind Isaac Price. So that's a lot of pressure to try to hold the lead against these two. Isaac Price, who is so good, went back to front, or nearly back to front in the first race, and Yoni doing the same thing in this one. I do not envy Alexi Lemurto in the lead at all.
Fair play to whoever's created this livery on Teo Jose's car, considering that this Red Bull livery was only announced a couple of days ago, I think, or maybe even yesterday. Looks great on the Fox.
It does indeed, and this is a strong drive from Jose.
Car 19, drive-through penalty, unsafe rejoin lap 1.
So we're hearing in our ears that there is an unsafe rejoin for car 19. That is Michael Malik, who is running near the back. Yeah, talking about that Red Bull livery, the white Red Bull livery, only unveiled, as you said, Pete, just a few days ago. So great turnaround time from the artist who put that skin together. And that is Jose, one of the Brazilian drivers that we have not seen much this season, in 8th position. We talked about him very briefly before the broadcast, how he had turned up for this event. I think he may have run the first one. He was in the early signups. And strong drive from him up into 8th position. Certainly helped a little bit by a whole bunch of more experienced drivers falling by the wayside early on. But if you're there, I dare say you've earned it. 8th position from him is pretty good.
Absolutely. Patrick Hall, he's not had a good race too. I imagine he was caught up in the incident on lap 1. A lot of people were. You know, got to have some luck on your side. Patrick's been unlucky on this occasion. Strong result in race 1. He's back down to P14 in this one, and it looks like he's coming under pressure from Imran Azar, who we've seen drive very well this season. It's come a little bit undone for him at the end of certain races, but he's led laps this year, so there's some potential there in the MRC team.
Yeah, he has been pretty strong. He ran in the lead after race 2 at the Kyoto National Circuit, the Kyoto National Reverse Circuit. He ran in the lead for a long time. Managed to get out front after a bit of carnage behind him. He was promoted to the lead, or near the lead, because of the reverse grid. Drove strongly out front. Cars cut up to him, and then it went a little bit wrong for him, and he tumbled back, further back at the top 10. And then he was right there at the front today, kind of taken up, he was taken off by Sean Lee in that lap 1 carnage. Ooh, man, Imran Azar avoiding action there. It was a Sidus car. I don't see whose name that is. Tried to go 3 wide and cut across him. When he went through the middle of those 2 cars, Imran Azar heads up driving from him to avoid having his wing chopped off, but he will have the slipstream right behind. Is that? No, it's not. I can't tell who that is.
I don't know
who
Gabor
has fallen back.
It?
Yeah, the order was a little slowed up there, so I couldn't tell who it was.
Yeah.
But well done to him. Gets through a sticky situation coming through the final corner, and he's no slouch getting by Gabor. That's pretty good pace.
So Yoni's up to P3, and he's only 1.9 seconds behind Isaac Price. What he needs is for Isaac to get a little bit closer to Alexi, get into the dirty air, and then we have a 3-way fight for the lead. Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be fun. Again, we don't want to see a safety car, but we're not too upset about having seen a safety car here, so that Yoni can. We've talked in some of the other series that we've run about the leading driver show, and today we've got the Yoni Katila show. Won the championship is race 1. If you're just now tuning in, Started from pit lane to make it interesting in race 2, and he is hot on the heels of Isaac Price, who is trying to chase down Alexi Lamerto in P1.
Yeah, 1.6 seconds now as Isaac made a slight error somewhere on this lap. His gap to Lamerto's gone up as well. I think this is just about the closest battle that we've got in the race just now. The battle for the lead between these two. Alexi Lamerto, who has proven his worth in single-seater racing this year already.
I'll interrupt you there, Pete, to say that's not entirely true. In the background, we've got cars going 3 wide into turn 1. We've got Jose, who is running in a strong position in 8th with Santusara all over him. Oh, they touched wheels. Santusara onto the curbs. Jovka Topuniak looked like he was going to make it 3 wide as they approached that fast sweeping turn 1 bend. Nearly collects his teammate, and that lets Dan Bala sneak up right under his rear wing. 4-way battle for the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th positions, and I believe that will probably let Ronnie Krompush catch up a little bit too. He's lurking in the background behind his teammate.
Yes, indeed. I think the Fragmaster team have Fragmaster magnets. It seems as though whenever we look at them, they're battling with each other. Sarah hasn't made all that good progress in this race. It could possibly come down to the first lap again. Trying to remember back, I don't recall him being involved, but anyway, he's P8, strong result in this last race, P4, but he has lost places in this race and would dearly like to get them back from Teo Jose.
Yeah, I'm looking at their machines to see if they've taken any damage, and I don't believe they have. All of the aerodynamic parts look to be in order. No suspension damage. Tires seem to be in good sorts. I hope we can talk to Number after the race. We usually have a good conversation with Jovka when the race is over, and I wonder if they just got the setup a little bit wrong here.
Possibly. The laps are running out for our leaders here. The gap's been coming down, but it's not been coming down fast enough for the grandstand finish that we are teeing up here in the commentary box. And Yoni shave 1.6 seconds out of the lead and make this a thriller. It's already pretty thrilling. How much more sweat can we get in the commentary box?
I feel like he probably can. We can see he's inching closer. Only 2/3 of the way done. They will be when they complete this lap. As we watch Daniel Lacosta come through the infield, and this train of Teo Jose with the Fragmaster cars behind him. Yeah, Yoni's creeping ever closer. He's only 1.7 seconds clear of Isaac Price now. What he really wants is for Isaac Price to sneak up right behind Alexi Lamerto and those two to battle, and then he can catch up and just kind of bide his time behind them. As we watch this battle with Teo Jose and the train that is forming behind him, you can see in my own client, Yoni Katila, he's creeping up ever so slowly on Isaac Price. Isaac Price is a bit closer to Alexi Lamerto right now, but all 3 of these drivers at the front, they are so quick, and the margins are so thin. I think it'll be difficult for any of them to race one another without a bit of luck or a mistake coming into play.
Yeah, here are the intervals as they come across start-finish. And yeah, it looks like the top 2 are starting to race each other hard because the gap's gone up slightly. Yoni Katila has pushed a lot this race. Yeah, I can't believe it, yeah. Even with the safety car, it's impressive to be that far up. Further down, Tack Vicious and Magic's had an issue. What's going on with him? Ooh, he's had an issue because he's dropped down the order like a stone.
Yeah, that front wing is broken too. He's clearly been a wide off the outside of the circuit around the final corner. So, and judging by the state of his front wing, I wonder if he got into the back of another car or if he was coerced into the back of another car. But we look ahead to Isaac Price, now only 4/10 behind Alexi Lamerto. We know Isaac Price is so quick through these final corners, uses all of the road there, takes the perfect amount of curb on the inside to get the car to turn in, gets good drive off the corner.
What's happened to Yoni?
What has happened to Yoni? He's gone off somewhere, pushing hard and made a mistake. Clearly, he's back to 6th. We just missed it following Isaac Price behind Alexi Lamerto. That's not what we wanted to see. We don't want to see another safety car, but I don't think we would be too upset if we saw another safety car now. But he's Yoni's made an uncharacteristic mistake. We talked about this early on, how he was no longer under pressure. He could just go out there and have fun, make it challenging, and drive as hard as he wanted to, and apparently he's gone just a little bit over the limit. He'll have to get by Daniel LeCostick. That's a tall order to reclaim third position, let alone second or the lead now. But we know Yoni is talented. On board with Isaac Price now. He is so quick through this sequence of corners. He leans out of the throttle, uses the grip on the right side of the car optimally, just perfect through there. Goes, oh, he's a little bit fast into that corner. Carried too much speed, lost the downforce. No, he manages to recover pretty well. He's tight on the curbs here. We've seen a lot of drivers struggle to get the car down to the apex right there. Isaac Price has been consistently down to both apexes in that double apex right-hand corner, so he loses a little bit of time. I think the slipstream of the dirty air costing him through here. Late on the brakes, but he goes just a little bit wide into the entry. Can't get the car all the way down to the very late apex through that corner. But he is quick through here. Perfect amount of curb all the way out to the grass. Alexis Lamerto, the only of the Sidus cars that we've seen consistently through that corner, though only in the second race. He had a lot of trouble there in the first one. Isaac Price not quite close enough, Pete.
No, absolutely. Lamerto is doing a fantastic job here of denying Isaac a win in LLS today. But let's pay attention to that gap. 6 seconds those lead two have got over Nico. So they both are clearing off at the front. Nico is still under pressure from Jimmy and might, by the time this race ends, be under pressure again from Yoni. He's already got past these guys once.
Yeah, Yoni, he went off. We didn't see what happened, but clearly was off the circuit and back on. Though he's making pretty quick lurk. He is lurking. He is making quick work of Daniel LeCostick, catching him pretty quickly. He might be on for P3, but the laps are waning. I think that'll be pretty tough. But he is quick, and the drivers have been making mistakes ahead of him. As we look back to Zdravko Topuniak leading this train. Looks like Teo Jose has gotten away from him a little bit. They had formed up behind Teo Jose a few laps ago, but now has about a second and a half on Zdravko Topuniak, who has mirrors full of his teammate Santu Sara, as he has done for the entirety of this race. You said a few minutes ago the Fragmaster cars are magnetic, and it continues to be the case. These two Fragmaster drivers racing one another lap after lap, can't get away from each other.
Yeah, it's kind of like the ideal, but also not the ideal situation for certain reasons. You want to work with your teammate, but you don't want to be battling with them. As Zdravko gets super sideways, and will he let let his teammate through? Yes, he will. They don't want to hold each other up and get swallowed by Daniel Ballot.
Yep, and now Santu Sara got to run alongside his teammate. Zdravko Topuniak been struggling through that corner all of this race and the previous one. Ooh, nearly touching wheels. They don't have to run that close. You guys are teammates. But Santu Sara through pretty easily down to the apex here. Looks like Zdravko is really struggling with that car. Something not quite right, or just not having a great day. This will put Dan Bala in the slipstream. Looking ahead, speaking of Fragmaster cars, Yoni Katila is all over Daniel LeCostick coming through the first corner, this big sweeping bend. And we know he's quick through all of these corners, so I anticipate Yoni Katila will have this job done in the next lap's time. Zdravko Topuniak right on top of his teammate once again. He is accustomed to running in the slipstream. I dare say he is the most experienced and most talented oval driver running around here, so these fast corners will be very comfortable for him. And
yeah, Patrick Corbett machines run for his money there, but one-off certainly.
Right, you are.
Daniel Ballot is, he's going to be having a fight with these two come the end. If he doesn't do that anymore, that's a nice drift. Doesn't want to fall back into the clutches of his teammate either. Two Fragmasters cars followed by two race screen cars.
And if we look ahead, Yoni Katila now all over Daniel LeCostick. Kind of a narrow entry into the final corner, but Daniel LeCostick gets it wrong right in front of Yoni. Oh, Yoni. Oh, unbelievable avoiding action from Yoni. Looked like he was going to commit to the wrong side of the road. Changed direction at the last moment. Just missed the Fragmaster car spinning ahead of him. Heart-stopping moment from Yoni. Incredible reactions and incredible car control. He had to drive the car so hard to the other side of the circuit. He changed direction so quickly that he nearly lost control of the car, but manages to gather it up. We had hoped Yoni would drive to the front, but I think that deserves just as much praise as his charge to the front from pit lane, avoiding that accident. Yoni is good avoiding cars as he is passing them.
That was scary stuff. I mean, he would not have liked that. Two reasons: one, it nearly took him out, and two, he didn't get the benefit of the slipstream, which he really needs if he wants to close down that 2-second gap to Nico, which is looking pretty unlikely. We have 5 laps to go, including this one. We are looking at Nico, who is trying to get past Gemini for Master Race Kart, Jimmy Vertinen himself, who currently holds on to that final podium place, which I'm sure he'd love to hold on to. So we do still have a battle for, well, every podium position.
We really do. Yoni will get a bit of luck here. There's a lapped car behind Nico Pintola here. That is Unsal, who just went into pit lane to serve a drive-through penalty. I think Yoni's going to time this perfectly to get right behind him coming out of this corner under the bridge. Will get the benefit of the slipstream. Unsal will get out of the way to let him through, or he should. Yeah, he gets the corner a little bit wrong. Slow off the corner. Yoni gets good drive, and he will be able to use the slipstream to carry a little bit of extra speed up the hill here. Unsal out of the way, lets Yoni through. Not much time left, but could be on for a 4th position here, maybe 3rd if these two keep fighting.
Yeah, this is exactly what Yoni needs. He needs these two to fight, and he can close that gap. We'll see what the gap is at the line, because these two have definitely been holding each other up. They will have got a bit of speed down the home straight. Let's see what that gap is from Yoni. No, it has actually, in fact, only gone. It's gone up a tiny amount. So yeah, these two working well. Jimmy Vertinen and Nico Pintola working well together. But Nico has made it up to P3 again. He's back onto the podium. What can Jimmy do to respond?
Well, he's not gone away. We typically see cars kind of wash a little bit wide, have to get out of the throttle in those fast corners because of the dirty air. But Jimmy Gemini's done a pretty good job to stay right on the rear wing of Nico Pintola there. Nico's struggling. A lot of cars struggling for rear grip through those corners, getting in the power a little bit early, spinning the wheels, having to lean out of the throttle and collect the car. Jimmy's still right there. That will let Yoni catch up just a little bit. It's about 2 seconds, a little more than 2 seconds behind. There's still time for Yoni to catch up. And if Jimmy and Nico are racing, then it could be on for Yoni. Looking ahead to Isaac Price, Pete, he's still there. He's been running about 5-6 tenths behind. Now 4 tenths behind Alexi Lamerto coming in the final corner. Isaac uses a lot of curb, makes the car as wide as he can coming into this corner. Doesn't go quite as wide on the exit as he could. Into the power pretty early, but Alexi's still pretty quick. Alexi keeping it behind.
Yeah, this is a great performance from Alexi. He's really showing us what he's capable of. He just needs to hold on for a few laps more. 3 to go. He's done a really nice job of holding up Isaac Price here. You don't often see it. This is the thing. You do not often see someone who can hold Isaac Price. And we've seen it from Yoni Katilla. We've seen it from Joe Holmes. But we maybe at the end of this race we can add Alexi Lamerto to the list of recent drivers who've held a light to this man.
We can, and we know all the Sidus drivers are very strong, very talented, and we talked earlier about how Alexi Lamerto won the Master Race Car Formula 1 Championship, where he tended to do just this. Go to the lead and then run consistent laps in the lead. He won the first event in the Master Race Car Championship, Formula 1 Championship, at this circuit, at the bigger Westhill circuit. He won at the International Circuit, the longer course. But he did just this. He was in front. He was under pressure sometimes. In the final event, he was under pressure from Zdravko Ponjak, who drove an amazing race to try to snatch the championship away from him. But this is what we're accustomed to seeing from Alexi Lamerto. The first race, he struggled a lot, fell further back, promoted to pole position by finishing 9th, and then had the grid reversed. Yoni Katilla goes a little bit wide there. That's not going to help his pursuit of Nico Pintola. But Alexi Lamerto, this is what we hope to see from him, and he's doing it here in race 2 today.
Yeah, the focus of this broadcast has been very much on the front of the pack. I mean, the intensity of some of the battles has been insane. We do have a strung out situation, but that can only be expected. This is about as much green flag running as we've had all night. Fingers crossed it stays that way as we head on to the penultimate lap. 26th lap of race 2. Oof, it's nearly over.
It is. We've still got tight battles at the front. We looked briefly at Isaac Price, who is now always even closer to Alexi Lamerto in the lead. Alexi, he's doing the job in front, but I think Isaac Price, I do wonder if Isaac Price has just been biding his time. Isaac Price all over. Yeah, Isaac Price all over the curbs there. Really good drive through that sequence of bends. Alexi Lamerto, though, he's consistent. He doesn't appear to be phased by Isaac Price behind him because he's held this lead for the bulk of the entirety of this race. Oh no, he goes a little bit wide there, loses the rear of the car. Looked like he locked up the rear brakes just a little bit too hard. Isaac Price had to check up a little bit. Can't blame him for that. Isaac has been strong through that corner, a little bit wide through there, but Alexi Lamerto wide on the exit. Both of them pushing as hard as they can, making the tiniest mistakes. So the race is on for the lead as they come around the final corner for the penultimate time. They'll cross the line to start the final lap. A race on in the lead, and then a race on for third and fourth position. Jimmy Virtanen is all over Nico Pantola behind these two, about 8 seconds back. And Isaac is there in the slipstream, Pete. He's right there.
Oh no, I mean Alexi's held on for so long, but you know, just a couple of avoidable errors on that lap. He's going to have to defend. He needs to move out. Yeah, there we go. Is it enough? Oh, this is super close. It's super close behind as well. Isaac goes around the outside.
Oh, he's trying to hold the inside, but Isaac Price gets it done on the outside, gives him just enough room to run on the curb. There's not as much grip down there, and Alexia has to lean out of it. He's going to go wide through this corner. The rear of the car gets away from him slightly. It's so hard to follow in the slipstream there, and that's it. Isaac Price, as you said, just playing with his food, pounces to start the final lap. As we look back, Jimmy Virtanen is all over Nico Pantola. It's going to be really hard to catch him through here. And in the background, we can see Yoni. Lurking. Oh no, Nico gets it. He locks the rear brakes and slides the car. That puts Yoni right under his rear wing, and Yoni is just waiting to jump on these two coming together. Pete.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm lost for words. Isaac just he knows when to pounce, doesn't he? I mean, anything could have happened. You know, a mistake from Alexi could have gifted it him earlier, but you know.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you, Pete. We're watching these two, a really close race coming in this corner, but Alexi Lamerto is alongside Isaac Price coming up the back straightaway. Isaac Price got a little bit wrong out of the final corner. These two are wheel to wheel. Alexi Lamerto late on the brakes.
Wow.
Over the curb. He just cuts across Isaac's front wing. He runs it wide out to the curb. He's snatched the position back, but Isaac Price is right under his rear wing. He might have enough time to slatch it before the line. In the slipstream, throws the dummy, has the power. He is going to get it. Oh, my goodness, Pete. He came off the final corner under his rear wing, jumped out, tucked back in, timed it perfectly.
I don't think he did.
It looked like he got him by the line. The gap is .00.
We'll have to check it. We'll have to check it. We'll have to check it on the replay to get confirmation, but it looked like he had a nose ahead, but we need to find out where the timing line is. The timing line might not be 100% mapped to the textures. I mean, I'd be surprised, but we need to get a confirmation. It looked like Isaac had it.
It did. I mean, you can see there in the results by the standings, it is a dead heat, 0.00 of a second. Jimmy Virtanen nearly got Nico Pantola, got it a little bit wrong in the final corner. We were trying to watch both of those battles, but I don't think we know who won this race.
No, we will put it up in post. We will put it up in post. The race controller on it. They're looking at it. They're going to get the replay up and take a look. It looked like Isaac had it, but our timing across the board says that Alexi Lamerto won it in a dead heat scenario. So we'll have to check to see who won this race. But what a race between Isaac and Alexi. Well, I kind of ruled Alexi out, but thanks for picking up on it, because yeah, Isaac must have had a slight slip out of the penultimate corner, and well, you can't ask for a closer finish than that. And well, we'll have to wait and see who actually won that race.
Yeah, that was what a perfect way to cap off this season. Yep. That's a tough, kind of tough to watch two close battles like that, but we just caught it in time. It's Pete on the cameras for those of you who don't know. 28 is the winner. Yeah, Alexi just got it.
Wow.
That is
fantastic.
That is easily the closest finish I have ever seen. We've seen plenty of really close oval races, but none closer than this one.
Unbelievable.
I'm heartbroken for Isaac. I feel like he just snatched it back from Alexi Lamerto, but Alexi Lamerto, he did the job. Struggled in race 1, but in race 2, just enough to take the win. What a drive by him.
Yeah, I think we also have to give a shout out, as there's what can only be described as a pile up in the pit lane. A good shout out to Nico. He's not had it all this way recently, and he's got another podium. We have a confirmation of the photo finish in our Discord server from Race Control, and it was close. I'm gonna try and get that image up for you folks, because it is really, really close. So Travis, if you can just fill the airways for a few moments, I will pull that up.
I will happily. Well, I can describe this picture for everyone who cannot yet see it yet, which is everyone with me and Pete. The difference, the gap, is just one of those white bars in the checkered line between the two solid white lines. it's closer than we see the cars together right now on the start finish line for the podium photo. 10 centimeters, 15 maybe. Incredibly close finish. On my screen in the client, it was Isaac clearly ahead, but my client, obviously not the authority, and difficult to see from that deep shot where we were watching them side by side come across the line. Photo finish. Alexi Lamerto wins the race, 49 minutes, 39.21 seconds, and Isaac Price in second position, 49 minutes, 39 seconds, 0.21 seconds, nearly a dead heat, 0.00 on the clock. Alexi Lamerto just barely takes the win. Nico Pantola, a strong podium finish. He had to work for it, finishes third. Fourth position, Jimmy Virtanen behind him with Joni Katila, was running for a podium finish, made a little bit of a mistake with about 6 or 7 laps to go. Started from pit lane, tried to drive all the way to the front. We asked him to give us a show. He did give us a show. Just went a little bit wrong for him, but the pressure was off. He had already won the championship. Finishes 5th position. Teo Jose, strong finish from him. Not a regular runner. Finishes in 6th position. The 7th and 8th positions go to the Fragmaster machines, Santusara and Zdravka Tepanyak. Dan Baila in 9th position. Daniel Lukastik rounding out the top 10. There in 11th position, you see Ayub Elanuni. Patrick Hall, not the race he wanted, finishes in 12th position. Gabor also had a difficult day. The Sidus machine finishing further back than we're accustomed to seeing him at 13th. Imran Azar in 14th, ran strong early, taken off in that first lap. Shamazel running ground push for Ray Screen at 15th. Simas Talkavicius in 16th. Jakub Yeffen in 17th. Timo Soini in 18th position. Vitor in 19th. We got Magic in 20th. Pete, do you have an image for us yet?
I do, but I think we ought to finish off the results just first. We'll run through the second page of the results. Thank you, Travis, for the first one. David Balla, P21, Michael Malak, 22, Sarkinen, Unzal, Sean Lee with a disaster, it has to be said, Velanov, P26, Gonzalez, P27, and Godge down in P28. And here's the image you've all been waiting for, folks. This is how close it was, Travis. Just take a look at that.
Yeah, that is. I was about to say that's almost as close as you can get, but that is as close as you can get. 0.00, the difference between these two drivers after 27 laps of racing. But the proof is in the picture there. Alexi Lamerto just barely hangs on. I thought Isaac Price had timed it perfectly. He came around the final bend right under the rear wing of Alexi Lamerto. Jumped out of the slipstream, jumped back in the slipstream, got the slingshot maneuver to the outside. Alexi Lamerto defended it perfectly, carried just enough speed over the line to keep Isaac Price behind him on the running order, and there you have it.
Absolutely awesome stuff, and that is a fantastic way to bring this season of LFSCART Lite to a close. We really hope you enjoyed it. Well, we certainly did, Travis. That is a way to cap it off.
That is a way to cap it off. I have to catch my breath and apologize for your ears. I got very excited at the end of the race there. Did a bit of my own crofty there as all of these battles were coming around to end the race and the season. But that was a joy. It was a treat, a privilege, and a pleasure for us. And hopefully we can get some words from a few of the competitors. We've got Race Control joining the channel right now, so we can probably get a few words from them. We got a few interviews lined up. Pete, take it away.
Yeah, as we always do at the end of the season, it's nice to get a word with some of our drivers. We're going to talk to our champion. It is the man himself, the one and only Joni Katila. Congrats.
Thanks.
Yeah, so Joni, I don't know if you just saw, you probably didn't, but we just witnessed probably the closest photo finish we've seen on sim broadcasts between Alexi and your very good friend Isaac Price. How's he feeling, just first of all?
I heard some that it was close, but yeah, I saw the +000 in the timing board, so
yeah,
I
it was
guess
probably
a
close.
show.
Congratulations, Johnny. 5 rounds, and you sealed it in race 1 today with an emphatic win. It didn't quite go your way in race 2, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Race 1, you had to deal with 2 safety car restarts and the start, of course. Talk us through it. Was it comfortable in the end, or did you have to work for it?
Yeah, well, race 1 was, of course, full try-hard mode.
Yeah.
The safety car was quite slow. I wasn't really happy about that. But I was thinking that I either slow down the train before last turn or then I just go after last turn, and I decided it's better to do it before last turn, and I get a little advantage from the last turn exit as well. But yeah, turned out to work good, and yeah, the setup was godlike and car was perfect, so it was just cruise to finish.
Absolutely. Travis?
Yeah, on the topic of setups, we had some questions about the setups that everyone was running during the race. Maybe we can get some insight from you. It seemed like there was a setup choice to go lower downforce or higher downforce here, and there were definitely some drivers struggling with grip at the rear of the car around the slower parts of the circuit. I'm wondering if you'd talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I have low downforce, but the main thing is if you had tailwind in the main straight, you needed a longer 6 gear, and yeah, that's what most people were modifying in their setups, I guess.
Yeah, we saw that the wind was really high in race 2, actually. I think it was 28 kilometers, I think.
No. It was like 15.
Okay, maybe that was race 1. But anyway, it wasn't a trivial amount of wind. Yeah, Joni, sum up your thoughts about NDR's revival of LFSCART Light in general with your Drivers' Championship win there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I enjoyed the sprint races. I don't know about others, but it's a change from the longer 3-hour races. And yeah, there's more fights and it's more exciting, I guess, to some extent. And yeah, I hope we would get more people in the future, like if LFS would get new updates. Hello, Scaven. And yeah, other than that, I hope I'll be in the next one as well.
And one final question for you. I'm going to take credit for this, but you can deny it if you like. I goaded you into putting on a show for us in the second race after you secured your championship, and then you surprised us by starting from pit lane. We didn't catch it until right before the start. Did you plan to go from pit lane the entire time, or did you make a last-second decision to turn it into a challenge?
The last-second decision, but you goaded me as well.
Fair enough. Well, it was fun to watch. Congratulations to you. Thank you very much for a great season.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Yanni. We'll have a word with Sean. I don't know whether this is a good idea, but let's do it. I mean, why not? It's the last race, right? So here he is to explain what on earth happened on that one. It's Nova. Sean Lee, tell us everything.
Yeah, hi, and also sorry to everyone who got muddled up in the lap 1 incident. Basically, yeah, got a good start. Had a very long first gear, so got on the back of Azar. He gave me space, I gave him space, but I didn't anticipate the wind, I guess. Got pushed out onto the curb on the outside, and that curb you can't really brake on that. So like all 4 of my tires were there. So when I hit the brakes, the rear locked up immediately. So I couldn't steer the car, and me and Azar, we have a combined ping of 300. So he went one way, I went the other way into the grass, and then I was looking to the left side to see whether I could rejoin or stay on the grass, and I saw they were coming, but in looking towards the left, I didn't realize there was a wall. So I hit the wall, the car went straight and went back on the track. So my original plan was to just turn right after the wall and stay on the grass, but yeah, I went on the track, and after that, yeah, big power up.
Well, unfortunate, but let's talk about something positive. Race 1. If you ignore the incident that dropped you back to 20th, it was a pretty good recovery.
Yeah, it was a pretty good recovery for race 1. I mean, the car pace, I had no idea what car pace was, but it turned out it was good enough for 4th, I think. We were on the same lap times as the top 5. So race 1 was a huge spin under the bridge, and I did the thing right that time, which is to keep the car away from the track. So from then on, it was just the recovery, and everyone was bunched up. So the car pace was easy to pass and get up to top 10. After that, the safety car really helped. But yeah, sad that couldn't show the car pace in race 2. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it happens, but that's my fault, obviously. But yeah, I was shocked as well when the car locked up coming down the hill. I could not react to that.
Yeah, so I'll take us back to race 2. Neither positive nor negative, more curious. So the race control app, or the starting app, crashed at the start, and it looked like Pete and I both said we didn't really blame you. You had kind of a jump start when they held you for so long, and then you managed to sneak back into your grid position and take the start, and then someone else was given credit for jumping the start after that. What happened there? How did were you caught out by the lights being held for so long and then decided to go, or what happened?
Yeah. So what happened there was the lights were held on for really, really long, and then the tracker failed. So the red light was on. So when Provost, our beautiful race director, who's probably very pissed at me right now, went to restart the tracker, the lights went out. So of course I'm trained to just look at the lights, and when the red goes off, you let go of the brake. So I went, and no one else went, and yeah, he screamed at me to stop. So yeah, pretty interesting.
Yep, fair enough. No blame to you for that one. It caught us out as well. We had a bit of dead air waiting for lights to go before they finally did. So, yeah, up and down day for you. Thanks for stopping in to talk to us, and sum up your thoughts on this series.
Yeah, I think I have to thank NDR and the Pulse, like Palmer and Boros for organizing this. That was really good. It's a good revival. Obviously, I wasn't in LFS back then when it was out originally, but yeah, it's really fun with the two-race concept and the safety cars and all. Wishing that it could be a longer season, but I guess there are some things that are planned. So we'll see what will happen next. But yeah, honestly, a really nice league, and hope to race in it in the future.
Thanks, Sean, for joining us. And yeah, commiserations for race 2, but a good performance in race 1, and you can be happy with your season overall, I think. So that brings to a conclusion our driver interviews for today. I don't think anybody else has come to say hello. Yeah, I think Jonathan Palmer would like to say a word, and potentially Jonathan Provost. We've got both of them in here. So, Jonathan, how's it going?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Right, Provost first. There we go.
Oh, which JP you're on about?
Too many Jonathans.
Yep.
Say both say hello. I don't know.
Yeah, well, hello.
One of them's feeling a little bit under the weather. Provost, to you first. As race director today, how did that go?
Interesting is your word I'd use. Yeah, quite a lot of different things in that one, but no, generally the racing was really good, especially in the last one. I don't think I've seen a photo finish of that in a very long time. So yeah,
let's just bring that up on screen. Yeah, let's have a look at that again.
Yeah, it was really good.
In a hurry.
Yeah, I actually had some chance to watch the racing this time, so that's quite nice.
Yeah, good. Deco.
Race 1 kept the rescue cars busy. Race 2, first lap kept the stewards busy pretty much all the race. I was in both. But yeah, no, I think it was actually quite a good race. The start lights system crashed. Don't know when, don't know why. Realized it when he tried to do the start and nothing happened. It didn't give me any errors or anything, so you'll have that. But no, definitely thanks to all the drivers. We cannot forget to mention the series creator, conceptor, Thilo Falkenberg. He's on holiday right now, a pre-planned holiday long before we planned the season. But no, definitely we need to give him credit for the idea and doing a lot of the work planning the season.
Absolutely. Yeah, Tilo couldn't be here for the final one, but hopefully he's having fun on holiday. He's still the one who's providing you all with all these on-screen graphics that we show, like the championship standings, the track map, stuff like that. So we're really thankful to Tilo, who's came up with the concept for LFSCART Lite, and he's helping us out with the broadcast. So thanks to him. JP1, JP2, as we like to call you. Sum up your LFSCART Lite revival.
Go ahead, JP1.
Up and down. The racing we had was phenomenal all rounds. I had kind of planned this earlier in the day to not clash with the Absolute Beginners League. Had seen their sponsorship deals, knew they were trying to drive people to do NDR stuff. We wanted to not clash with everything going on a day. Totally forgot about F1. I'm usually still sleeping in by about an hour, so I missed the start of any F1 race that's in Europe anyway, so it just doesn't enter my mind. I watch every single race unless it's in my time zone on the DVR, so I just totally forgotten. I know we've had some people talk about the combos that we picked this year. When we can't always test them beforehand, but It was, we ran it through a few people, and it is what it is. We did see some good racing. What we had, we just kind of wish we had more people for all the rounds.
It'll come. It will come. Yeah, Provost, your thoughts?
Yeah, much simpler. I've really enjoyed it, to be fair. I think I race directed round 1 and this round, and shooted a few and missed a few. But generally, as JV1 says, the racing has been really good. Not necessarily always the best numbers of grid, but I think even no matter that, the racing was still good. And I enjoyed doing it, so it was quite fun.
Yeah, I mean, we can't say it enough that you two put in so much effort to run these series. And yeah, of course, it would be nice if we got fuller grids, but there's things to be learnt on both sides, I think. And, we're looking forward to a positive future for NDR and LFS in general over the coming months. So hopefully we can put on good shows going forward in the future.
Yep, fingers crossed.
All right, well, it's great to get a little bit of insight from you two. We don't get to talk to you on the stream very often, so thank you both very much. But Travis, I think it is time to wrap up
to you guys.
the show for the year. Okay. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, let's round it out. That was a joy and a treat to participate in. I'm sorry I missed the round at South City. I was able to do the other 4, and all of them were a privilege and a pleasure. Great racing by everybody. I think we have a lot of people to thank, Pete.
We do.
We jump on to talk about the show, but there's a lot going on in the background. So thanks to you for being my commentary partner, doing the camera work. Chris McElroy for putting together the cameras. Everyone at NDR, JP1 and JP2. That's Jonathan Palmer and Jonathan Provost, and Stuart Baker, Tilo Falkenberg. All those guys for putting on this event. All of the drivers. It's been a joy. We couldn't do it without everyone who is involved. It's a pleasure doing this with all of you, and it's been a lot of fun. Really hope to do it again.
Me too. I echo all of that. And lastly, all of the viewers, thank you very much for watching. Of course, we couldn't do this without you on Twitch and YouTube. If you're not following us, then please consider hitting that follow or subscribe button, depending on where you watch. We'd love to see you again at the next one. We're not sure when that'll be, but we do have some action coming your way from iRacing and LFS. We've got Roni's Tuesday Fun Race, of course, every Tuesday, bar one a month. And the next time we are out with that series will be on Tuesday, believe it or not, for round 21 of the season. So we hope you can join us for that. From all of us here at Sim Broadcast, it's been a great one, a good way to cap off the LFSCART Light series for 2021. We hope you see it back at some point. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. From all of us here to all of you, good night.